Well, a lovely Monday afternoon. How are you? Welcome to the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440, Orders Nation, YouTube, and Facebook. The Gregor Show is always presented by playalberta.ca, where you can get in the game. Use the promo code Gregor50, and you will get a free $50 play with the minimum $5 purchase at playalberta.ca, where, of course, tonight, game 3. The Orders and Stars change of venue. It will be in Edmonton tonight. Series is tied at 1. Pretty competitive games. The Orders, you win game 1, you come out like you did in game 2. Man, the only negative about that first period was that they weren't leading, because they were clearly the better team. Shooting the Stars 16-4. Now, Stuart Skinner did make some big saves. I think 3 of the 4 shots were high danger chances. But Edmonton had some chances they couldn't bury. Then Dallas kind of took over at stretches of that game. Edmonton was able to counterpunch. It's close, and Dallas gets a game winner on a deflection. Nothing pretty, like a lot of the goals come playoff time, and that's just how it goes. So the Orders will come back tonight. They will have a new face in the lineup. Adam Henrique will draw back in. He has not played since game 2 against the Vancouver Canucks. He initially hurt his ankle, high ankle sprain against the Kings in the 5th game of that series. Came back, tried it in game 2. I don't know if he re-aggravated or what, but either way, haven't seen him since. But he will draw in tonight, and Ryan McLeod is out of the lineup. Looks like Foegele, Ryan, Henrique will be the third line. They're not touching the fourth line the way they're playing. Although I had said it before, I could have made the argument to put Corey Perry in. I would have played him with Janmark and Carrick, and I would have moved Connor Brown to play with Foegele and Henrique. And you know what? We might see another change here moving forward. The Orders, they got depth. It's a really good problem to have. So they've got some depth, and we'll see. Adam Henrique comes in. He scored 24 goals this season, 18 in Anaheim, 6 in Edmonton in 22 games. He had basically the exact same goal per game pace in Anaheim as he did with the Edmonton Orders. It's a guy who's 7-time 20-goal scorer, really smart player, can kill penalties. I don't see how anyone views this as not a good move for the Orders. He makes them better. Now, if you want to debate who could come out, sure. But Adam Henrique coming in should make the Orders better. Rupe Hintz, game time decision tonight for the Dallas Stars. If he comes back in, that'll obviously be a bonus for them. I would expect Ty Dellandrea to come out. Tyler Seguin would then move to the wing where he was playing up until Rupe Hintz got injured in game 4 against the Colorado Avalanche. Now, Hintz, even prior to his injury, I don't think he was healthy. If you just look at his minutes played and you look at his production, wasn't close to what you'd seen in the regular season from him. And talking to some people in Dallas, feel kind of he was working through some nagging issue stuff. So, some claim it's a hand injury. I can't get 100% confirmation. So I'm only going off of guys who cover the team a lot closer than I do. So either way, you could see Rupe Hintz in the lineup tonight for the Dallas Stars. Jake Ottinger, Stuart Skinner, they will stay in. Defense pairings are going to be the same. You have Ekholm and Bouchard, Nurse and Desharnais, Kulak and Ceci. On the other side, they will start, of course, Lindell and Tanev. You have Harley and Heiskanen. Heiskanen, of course, plays the most minutes. And then you have Petrovic and Suter as their third pairing on the back end. We don't know 100% the line combinations for the Stars, but if Hintz is in, we'll find out in warm-up, most likely. He didn't take warm-up game 2. I think if he's taking warm-up today, he's likely playing. So we'll see how that goes. Either way, should be an electrifying game tonight. Also, you look at the Oilers' home record in the regular season, them in Colorado, fewest regulation losses at 9 out of 41 games. Now, the Oilers had 4 overtime losses. Colorado had 1. Those two were the 2 best home teams, but Dallas went into Colorado and won all 3 games. The Oilers, they need a win. You don't want to go down. Now, could you lose tonight and win the series? Of course. Seen it many times, but I think Edmonton here, you regain home ice advantage. Don't want to give it away. And the Oilers all season long have been a little bit more dominant at home than they were on the road. And what's interesting, in the regular season, Connor McDavid scored way more at home than did on the road, which he'd never really done in his career. He'd been pretty much consistent. His goals, points, everything road to home were pretty much even. But in the regular season, It was an oddity, and it was different. In the playoffs, it's switched. McDavid doesn't have a goal yet at home. I know it's only 6 games, but he does have all of his goals on the road in 8 games, 3 goals in 8 games. He does have 12 assists, though, on home ice, so it's not like he is not producing by any stretch of the imagination. If it's me, I'm starting Draisaitl and McDavid on separate lines, and I would try to keep them on separate lines as much as I can, excluding the shift after Dallas power play, which isn't very often. Or, you know what, maybe late in the period and such, if there's an offensive zone matchup where all of a sudden you get a tired line out, I can totally see it. But other than that, I think the Oilers are a better team when those two are on their own separate lines. And the numbers back it up. Coming up today, Charlie Huddy, former Oiler, will join us, talk a little defense as the Oilers and the Stars. Neither team has given up a whole bunch in this series. We'll have Mark Spector, Kevin Woodley with more goaltending chat. Owen Newkirk will join us from Dallas to get their side of things. Andy Petrillo will be by. Also, Wanye Gretz talking Oilers. It is also today would have been a young fan that many of you, well, you might not have known him personally. You ended up to get to know his story, his family story, and young Ben Stelter, who passed away on August 10th, 2022, at the young age of 6. He would have turned 8 today. And I know his grandpa's a big listener of our show. Ben's grandpa is what his moniker is. So I'm sure it's a tough day for him and Mike and Leah and Dylan and Emma and everybody else involved, but also a day to celebrate because, man, what a lasting impression Ben Stelter had in the community. There is the Ben Stelter Foundation, which already has raised millions of dollars for families and kids going through cancer to try to avoid some of the pain and heartache that goes along when you're going through that journey, right? And Mike and Leah would obviously understand all of that much more in depth than they would probably care to admit, but they do. And that's a big part of the Ben Stelter Foundation and what they do. So kudos to them. You know what? If you're a big believer in karma and good vibes, there might be a little bit extra vibes tonight at the rink on Ben Stelter's birthday. You know what? The players, it's not one thing that you'd ask about, but they know, right? There's a lot of players who are really close to him. And I would think there will be some sort of short little message tonight. Why wouldn't you if you're the Edmonton Oilers? Just mix it in. You don't have to make a big deal about it, but mix it in, and that's just going to amp up the crowd even more, for sure. So I think if you are someone who believes in the good vibes and good karma, you might be getting some of that tonight from Ben Stelter. On the show, man, I can't wait for Game 3. It's been low scoring, but those games have been pretty entertaining. I would like to see, selfishly, maybe a little bit of a first period of the Rangers and Florida. Man, that was unreal. 4 goals are going back and forth. Some sweet goals, too, by the way. And, man, Igor Shesterkin, when he has to lock it down for the Rangers, gosh, did he ever lock it down for them? They got a lot of guys banged up. They got a lot of guys who aren't producing, and Igor Shesterkin is playing great. They probably don't deserve to be up 2-1, but that's a great part of the playoffs, man. It's not always about the best team every night wins. Sometimes you have a goalie stands on his head. Sometimes you make a key error at the wrong time. Sometimes you get a little bit of a break, right? Puck bounces in off your shoulder, off your chest. That's what happened to Wenberg, and the Rangers have an opportunity now to take a stranglehold in the Eastern Conference. That game, of course, will go tomorrow. In the NBA, we know what's happening. The NBA, teams who are 3-0 in the NBA are 153-0. There's never been an NBA team come back from a 3-0 deficit. I don't expect it to happen this year. The Pacers and the Minnesota Timberwolves had a great year, but it's over. Whether or not it ends in Game 4, it's ending. They're not making it to the next round. Let's just be honest. So it looks like it'll be the Celtics and the Dallas Mavericks, who have looked really good. Sometimes there's just, basketball a little bit different. Like, to me, there's some situational mismatches, and they don't have a backcourt to handle the backcourt at all. They got big bodies in the Timberwolves, but they don't have guys who can match head to head. Like, Anthony Edwards, great, but he can't cover both of them. Doncic, and Kyrie. It should be an entertaining final between Boston and Dallas. So, hey, Oilers are hoping that Dallas doesn't have two teams in the finals of their respective leagues. We got a lot of texts coming in. 833-401-1440 in our eWell inbox. 833-401-1440 is where you can text in. Give me your thoughts. How you feeling? What's your thoughts on the Edmonton Oilers? I don't know if any of you watched the PWHL on the weekend. The old dreaded goalie interference review. Minnesota thought they won the championship, but they go to review. Now, it was clearly goalie interference. I don't think anyone could debate that. It was clearly goalie interference. But, ouch. Then you have to resettle. Then Boston wins, and now they're going to a deciding game in their inaugural season. So good for them. It's been a very successful first year for the PWHL. And you know what? Hey, that bodes well for lots of young girls and young women who have aspirations to go play pro. I think it's fantastic. The Memorial Cup continues. Moose Jaw looking for a victory. And pretty much, if you can get one win, especially if it's against Drummondville, then at least you'll move on to the playoffs because they've already lost 2 games. So we'll see. Hey, guys, do you know how Ben's dad is doing? That family's been through so much from the Conroys. Well, Mike's actually doing great. I saw him when we did our show live at Kubota a few weeks ago. He and Leah were both there, and I talked to Mike for a while. And you know what? Right now, he's cancer-free. Now, he has to go for tests I can't remember if he said every quarter, every month. My apologies. Can't remember exactly which one it was. But either way, he's good. He's off all of his medication treatment. And, he said he was really kind of puffing up and had gained a lot of weight, and it was tough. And so, he's able to walk a lot more freely. So he's been exercising. I think he told me he was down 30 pounds, which is great. So he feels awesome. So yes, it's for a family that's been through a lot, man, that is a blessing. No question, because they have been through a lot for sure. No doubt in my mind about that. Hey, guys, you think it's possible that Paul Coffey will be named the next GM? I haven't heard any names out there from Propane P. I don't. GM assistant coach, man, I'd be surprised. I guess you never rule out anything, but I'd probably be a little surprised by that. I haven't heard any names right now. Now, the Oilers are in the midst of it, and to be honest, I haven't really dug into it. But I will say I think the longer this playoff run goes, I think the odds increase that Ken Holland's just going to retire, and there's nothing wrong with that. He's had a fantastic career. Win or lose, I think he's going to retire, and maybe Jeff Jackson is going to be the GM. I don't know. But we'll see. I haven't heard much on that front, to be honest. And it could be a crazy turnaround, right? Like the Oilers, I don't know if you've seen the Stanley Cup final schedule, but they'll play on the 8th and the 10th. And that would be, depending who's the host, it won't be Edmonton. Edmonton started on the road. So 8th and the 10th. Then they have an extra day off. So then they play the 13th and the 15th in Edmonton, if it's them. They would have an extra day off. Then they play the 18th. Then they have 2 days off. Then they play the 21st. And then have 2 days off. And they play the 24th. And then you got free agency a week later. So, yeah, Jeff Jackson, you know what? You would think, they'd be having conversations. It's a hard one because it goes that close, but you would definitely need some conversations and interviews. And you know what? Obviously, maybe they've kept it pretty quiet, which is good. Hey, boys, these games have been awesome. Every game the team is growing and maturing more, including Skinner. I thought a Bouch needed to be in that shooting lane when Edmonton pulled the goalie from Steve. Bouchard got out of the shooting lane because he didn't think the goalie was pulled. That was a terrible pull. Darnell Nurse dumped the puck in and turned off. Why? Because he didn't know they were why they pulled the goalie when they didn't have the puck is mind-blowing to me in the offensive zone. Right? Like there wasn't good communication there. Bouchard wise, he's like, oh, you want to shoot it down the ice? Yeah, I'll get out of the way. It's going to be icy maybe. And we have a face-off. He didn't know the goalie was gone. You can see his reaction. He's been blocking shots. Like, you think he's worried about that shot from Lindell? No chance. That was just, it was a very odd line change at that point. Very odd. So, let's see. Take a quick break. When we come back, Charlie Huddy will join us on the Jason Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Until June 8th, make the shift to more savings at Fountain Tire and get up to $200 off a set of 4 select tires, plus a bonus $50 off any service of $150 or more. Restrictions apply. Financing available. Book online today. I can tell by the look on your face you're thinking about it.
Japa Machinery Group knows that XCMG may not roll off the tongue, but Japa's team will help keep your construction jobs on time and on budget with heavy equipment sales and rentals. Visit japamachinery.com to find out more.
Christensen Communities, the name in active adult living. Enjoy retirement living without compromise. At Christensen, we understand choice, dining, personal services, recreation programs, and care plans to suit your current and future needs. Enjoy maintenance-free living and build new friendships in a safe, independent community. Large suites with full kitchens and in-suite laundry, on-site amenities, and so much more. Find out more today about our communities across the province at cdlhomes.com.
Hold on to your hockey helmet, Edmonton. On the Rocks is serving up 60-cent wings that fly off the plate faster than a slap shot.
And Molson Canadian for $4.50.
OTR's TVs, they're so clear.
You'll see the puck better than the ref.
Plus, every game night during Edmonton's playoff run gives you a chance to be part of the Sack Attack.
You could win a Hyman jersey.
This is our year.
And our time to cheer.
Be a part of the legend.
On the Rocks. On the Rocks.
Jasper Ave 118th.
This spring, experience innovation on the road at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Right now, lease from 0.99% or save up to $4,000 on select models for qualifying loyal Volvo Cars Edmonton customers. Plus, save $5,000 on all new and demo 2024 XC60 Recharge plug-in hybrid models. Discover why we're Canada's only 13-time Volvo Excellence Award winner. Chat online at volvocarsedmonton.com or visit 1205 101st Street Southwest.
Sports 1440 has added another player to our lineup. Tonight, from 6 to 9, check out Turn Sports with your host, Navin Romerick. Edmonton's exclusive home of sports talk is now rolling 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Hey Leduc, it's me, Grant Fedork from Leading Edge Physiotherapy. What you might not know is that I started practicing physio here in Leduc more than 23 years ago. In those years since, I haven't forgotten the kind and welcoming people that trusted me then. It feels great to be back, but I know we have to live up to our promise, and that's to live up to our name. This means bringing a leading edge focus on our environments, technology, communities, and the people who will care for you, like Graham Raymond and Amanda McIsaac, two locals who want to make a difference in your life. We're now open in Leduc. Learn more about us at leadingedgephysio.com.
Mr. Ruther does a TED Talk.
Thank you for coming today. Let's talk about it. Pressure. Everyone in this room feels pressure. But let me tell you something about pressure. I'd rather feel too much pressure than not enough. You know why? Because low pressure often means you have corroded pipes, impaired water lines, or a calcified shower head. And who needs that? I'm Mr. Ruther, and this has been my TED Talk.
For an inspirational plumber, call Mr. Ruther.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Since 2016, we've been at the forefront of hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada. I'm delighted to share our latest venture, in-house production for quicker turnaround, superior quality, and heightened versatility. Experience excellence at Cantork.com.
CW Eves Troughing is busy. That's why they're looking for experienced troughers to run one of their trucks. To get paid top rates, contact CW Eves Troughing at 780-435-1492 or email info@cweves.com.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV, and the used RV market is really heating up. That's good for us, of course, because we believe used RVs are better than new ones. But it's also good for you, because a packed lot at No Bull means you're more likely to find exactly what you're looking for in one visit.
But we offer so much more than finding the right one.
That's right, Bob. When you buy from No Bull, we walk you through every single component. Every button, every switch, we confirm with you that everything works, what it's capable of, and how to get the most from it. We even show you the best way to hook it up to your truck. And if you ever have a question, even weeks later, we're still here and happy to help.
Try to get that kind of service when you buy from a random guy off the street.
Good point, Bob. We also offer easy payments. It's just another reason you'll get the perfect RV without all the...
And that's No Bull.
NoBullRV.ca.
.222. Welcome back, Jason Gregor. Connor Halley. Sports 1440. It is game day, game 3. The Oilers and the Dallas Stars. Tonight should be a fun. Oilers one lineup change. Henrique is in. Ryan McLeod is out for the Dallas Stars. Rupe Hintz will be a game time decision. We will see if he is coming in tonight for the Stars. As we go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's. And all summer long at McDonald's, you can enjoy an app-exclusive $1 plus tax soft serve vanilla cone. Order yours today through the app. It's only $1 at McDonald's. We are joined by a gentleman who won 5 Stanley Cups as a member of the Edmonton Oilers, longtime NHL coach, and of course an alum of the Oilers and in the Oilers Wall of Fame, Ring of Honor. Charlie Huddy joins us. Charlie, welcome back to the show, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Hey, I got to ask you, as somebody who, of course, was good in both ends of the rink, defense and offensively. One of only you're on the one team that had 6 20-point guys one year in the playoffs, and you were one of them. Give me your thoughts on, as you've seen it, because I know you understand the position very well, just kind of the evolution you've seen from Evan Bouchard.
Yeah, I mean, it's right from the start of the season until this point. I mean, it's gone nowhere but up. Obviously, we know he's a great offensive guy. He got the shot from the blue line. You know, when he sees the ice real well, I mean, especially on that power play, he's got great vision. He can find whoever may be on the half wall or wherever. But I think the big thing is that in his own end, I mean, you got to be able to defend a little bit in this league, and you've seen it now when you get into the playoffs. You have to be able to defend, or you know, it's too hard to win hockey games. You can't expect your goalie to stand on his head every night. So he, I think that area is picked up too. I think just the experience of going through the playoffs. I know they've got 1 round and 2 rounds against the last one against Vancouver, but I mean, I always said that when I was coaching those guys in Winnipeg, I always said that, you know what, one playoff game is like playing 2 regular season games all into one, you know, with all the pressure and stuff that comes with it, and just everything. It's just magnified into one. But you know what, he's done a great job. I mean, when he gets the puck and he's got time, you know he's going to make a good first pass, and that's what you need to be able to do. And most of the time, him and, you know, Ekholm are out there with McDavid's line, or they're out there with Draisaitl's line the odd time. But I mean, you get the puck to those guys, and then you know what happens from there.
It kind of like, it's a little bit at times like the Russian 5, right? Like they'd like to play with the same guys, defense and forwards. And now it doesn't happen all the time, but do you remember like when you played with Coffey, were you guys out there? Was it split even between Gretzky and Messier's line, or were there times when Slats would really load you up as a 5-man unit?
Yeah, you know what? I think most of the time we used to play with Gretz's line. I mean, no, for the reason that Coff was out there and he could skate, or else you could get the puck to those guys in a hurry, to him and Yari and whoever may be on left wing at that particular night. But you know what? We did it in practice though too, because I remember we'd always have red, like we'd be in red jerseys. Gretz's line would be in red, and then me and Coff would be in red, and then Mess's line with Andy would be in blue, and then Kevin and Fogie, whoever it may be, as we move forward. But when Slats was there, we always practiced in 5-man units, and it carried over into the game. I mean, most nights that's the way it went. But I mean, the game's changed now. I mean, you know what? It's a game of matchup, right? It's give and take. I mean, you want your 2 best defensemen normally, your 2 best defensive defensemen or whoever, against the other team's top line. So then sometimes the other team doesn't play, you know, top line against top line. They might have a checking line against your top line. So then you know what I mean? So then you lose part of it. But I mean, it's a whole different game now.
Yeah, it totally is. Charlie Huddy joins us. And, you mentioned just the experience that you gain from that. And, the experience of, not getting too high, not getting too low. I know it's super cliche, but it's hard. How long did it take you to be able to master that, Charlie? Or is it really from year to year, you'd sometimes have to, either calm yourself down or someone have to calm you down or fire you up?
Yeah, I think, I think you'll learn as you go through. I mean, you've got great leaders in the room they'll stand up and take charge. But I think at the end of the day, it's up to yourself to be able to know your, know your pregame routine and how you're going to get ready for the game and what you need to do and to be ready to play. I mean, and if you do that, nobody says the game's going to be perfect, right? There's going to be, it's a game of mistakes out there. I mean, if teams are pressuring hard and stuff like that, but you know what? It was you knew as a player, if you made a mistake, you didn't need the coach to come down there and tell you just made a bad mistake and end up in our net. It's like unfortunately for the Kulak goal, like, I mean, Koff doesn't need to go down there and tell him, say, hey, you know what? You can't turn that puck over because it's going to end up in our net. So you have to be able to, as a player, to get through that. Like, you can't sit on the bench and go, oh man, am I ever going to get back out on the ice? Is he going to bench me for 3 or 4 shifts? And I mean, when I was in Winnipeg, I mean, you can't, if you're going to rely on that guy, you can't sit him out a shift, or sometimes just sit him out one so he could, get regrouped on the bench and help him out a little bit. But I mean, you sit him for 4 or 5 and then you throw him out there and expect him to, you know what I mean, after what's happened. That's all he's thinking about. So I guess going back to, as a player, you got to be able to get through the tough times and to be able to make good of the good ones.
Charlie, when you were running the defense, like, would you, if you wanted to sit a guy down, did you have to stroll down to the head coach and whisper in his ear, hey, I want to rest him? Or did you kind of have free reign to decide if you ever wanted to sit a guy?
You know what? I'd always look down at him, and he'd kind of give, like Mac T would always give me the little nod or whatever, because we were kind of on the same page when you've been with a guy for a while. But I think at the end of the day, you have to, for me anyways, it was respect for the head coach to let him know or ask him, are you seeing the same thing that I'm seeing? And most times, yeah, he is, but you just never want to. For me, I didn't want to sit him down, because you know what? At the end of the day, he's the guy that's got to go out and answer the media, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, and if it's an obvious thing that you got to sit a guy down, yeah, fine. But I know there was a couple times in Edmonton where they had questioned things about the back end, and I said to Max, I go, I know they want to talk to you, but let me talk to them and defend what I was trying to do, or they can pick it apart whatever way they want. But you shouldn't have to be the guy that is answering how it was run back there, because I was pretty much the guy running it, which was good for me, because I didn't have to, I kind of had free reign back there. So, but so out of respect, I always went down and game, or sometimes I never even got down that far. You just go, yeah, that would be the end of it. But I mean, I hated sitting guys down, and not letting them play whatever a whole period or the rest of the game or whatever. It's just, it's like I said before, it's a game of mistakes, and everybody's going to make them, I mean, if the guy goes out there and makes a mistake and then he keeps going and going, you know what, maybe it's not his night. Maybe he's happy to sit out the rest of the game and, and regroup the next day at practice and then, come back into the next game. So there's times like that where it happens, where you can see that he just can't find his game that night. And it does happen. Yeah. So, and maybe it does. And, that kind of leads me to the question. You're into the playoffs, you got a deep team, and, coaching decisions, like, I noticed Kulak, when he made his mistake, he was right back on the ice, as you alluded to, like right away, right? Because I don't think they're like, hey, it's early on. This guy has been Mr. Reliable. He just fanned on the puck, right? Like, it wasn't like, it's a bad read. Then we had McLeod late in the game, and I think there was a combination of, some errors, so he didn't see the ice again. And now he's a healthy scratch. You go through those decisions, and I know the head coach at the end obviously makes it, but usually it's the entire coaching staff and everybody's given their opinion. Was it hard even sometimes if hey, we're thinking on switching this guy for that guy? Because it's a pretty big decision, because you're always like, well, the guy's been pretty good for us all year long. He's just not going right now. Yeah, no, it's always hard, and you're right. It's usually, I mean, most teams, any ones that I've been part of coaching, it's always been, a group decision, having said that, at the end of the day, it's the head guy that's going to make the final call on it, on who's playing and who's not playing. But yeah, you know what? It's tough because the guy goes out there and plays, you know, through the first series, through the second series, playing good, and then it's just not going the way. And then, you know, you're looking for maybe a spark to bring another guy in who's a veteran guy that can, you know, that's good in his own end and can make some plays and the whole deal. So it's, you know what, it's never easy. It's a fun game. And then having said that, the other part of it's not so much fun, having to tell the guy that he's been playing in the playoffs and now he's not playing tonight. You know, it's always it's always tough. And you can never say you'll get back in because you never know if he's going to get back in.
Right. Yeah. No, it's true.
That's the last thing you never say to him. You just, you know, you never say, don't worry, you'll get back in, because it may never happen, unfortunately.
Now, Charlie, running the defense when it comes to matchups, right? Like everybody knows on paper that, you know, they're the matchups and teams. It's not like it used to be where I know, like in the 80s, man, like they would chase a matchup. It didn't matter, right? Like guys, you know, Esa Teakin and Steve Casper, not only would they shadow guys, they'd be all over them every shift. The guy would start for 2 seconds. Oh, it's Gretzky on, and they would switch it. They don't do that anymore. But you do. So if you're running the defense on the road, are you more alert? Are you looking for matchups, or do you kind of just talk to the players and they kind of know which matchups you want and you don't have to remind them every time?
Yeah, I think that's the big thing, is just starting with the players and letting them know, hey, this is what the head guy wants tonight. He wants this pair against this forward line and this pair, you know, so you go down and you kind of explain to them. And you know, after I said that, I'm going, you know, like if you get out on the ice and it's the matchup maybe that we're not looking for, don't panic and don't just play the game, play the way you play the game. And then when we get a chance to change. Don't be looking, trying to get off the ice as soon as you can. Like just finish out the shift or whatever. If it's a whole shift, it's a whole shift. But I mean, you know, it's obviously harder. Sometimes it's easy. I found it sometimes easier on the road to get a matchup, because if you put your top two lines, you know, the top two lines. So if you put your top line out, you usually know who the other team's match. And then if they're doing a good job, they keep coming out with them. So then I'd know what pair to put out with our top line. And then, you know, it'll be the same if you're putting Draisaitl's line out. They got a certain line that's going to match them. So you put that defensive pair out, and then you just kind of go from there. And then the third and fourth line, so the third line play, and then the fourth line, they just kind of work in every once in a while. And teams will usually match fourth lines against fourth lines, and you kind of go from there. But so, and then at home, you never know, right? Because you get a matchup, and they might try something different out there. So you could get caught. But I mean, you know what? At the end of the day, they're all NHL players, and they got to be able to play against everybody, at least for a couple shifts through the game. You know.
Yeah, well, 100%. It's impossible to completely shelter a guy, but you know, nowadays, you know, you can't change after icing. So I think that's where maybe you can look for it a little bit more, right? Like even if you want to say, hey, offense's own face-off, let's get Bouchard out there maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, 100%. That's usually the way it goes. I mean, you see how it is now, especially if you're down a goal. Anytime if that line hasn't been out there in an offensive zone face-off, one of those top two lines are coming out, so you can get your defenseman out there, and you know, hopefully you can create some offense. But no, you're right. It's since you can't change after an icing makes it interesting, makes it for a good game.
The series itself, like there hasn't been a lot of physicality in that series, Charlie, especially if you compare it to the Eastern Conference where they're banging the hell out of each other. You know, when you look at that can you manufacture, like, say, okay, let's try to get some motion and really start hitting, like, or do you kind of need both teams to be physical to have a physical series?
I think if one team gets going, I think the other team kind of obviously follows along. But you know what, like sometimes the physical part of it, like, I mean, you know, the open ice hits or whatever. But I think the part that's missed is the physical battles along the boards, right? Like that takes a lot out of you. Like when you're in your D zone and you got a guy that can hold on to the puck and handle it, and he's going up and down the wall or trying to get in behind the net and stuff like that, and you're trying to keep him in the wall so he can't make a pass, you know, into the slot area and stuff like that. I mean, those are hard fought battles. So, you know, at the end of the day, it's, you know, you get the odd open ice hit or a big hit here and there. It doesn't really. It happens and it happens. It's easy to do, but the part for me is the physical stuff along along the walls, and those are the battles that you got to win.
How much of that is just heart, and how much of it is skill and learning how to win a battle on the boards?
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, it's hard. It's hard work. I mean, you've got to be strong. You got to be able to hold the opponent off. But I think, I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, a lot of it's skill. There's a knack to it. Like, you know, when to use your stick, when not to use your stick. Can you hold them against the wall, and for a defenseman, hold them against the wall, and then use your stick maybe and push the puck up to your winger or back in behind the net to your defense partner and stuff like that. So it's just not a go in there and just go crazy and try to win the battle. You got to have a little bit of a game plan, and obviously you're trying to, you know, not let him beat you off the wall and take the puck to the net, because that's when breakdowns start to happen, and then guys leave the point guy, and then you know what it looks like from there. So, I mean, it's just a job you got to do, and it's a one-on-one battle, and all you're trying to do is beat the guy that you're going against.
Charlie Huddy joins us. Last one, Charlie. If someone came to you today and said, "Hey, I'd like you to coach again," would you?
Yeah, you know what? I have to think about it for quite a while. It's you know what? I enjoy the game. I really did. I mean, I still miss the best part was going down to the rink and, you know, chatting with the guys before practice or after practice or whatever the case may be. And then the most fun was obviously playing in the games and getting into the playoffs. But I sure don't miss, you know, sitting at that desk and doing video for, you know, five or 6 hours to put a 2-minute penalty kill meeting together, and, you know, and who knows what's going to happen even when you show it to them, because the other teams, they've got video too, so they could change up their power play just as easy. You can change your penalty kill. So I guess that part of it I don't miss, but yeah, I'd have to think about it for sure.
Looking at the Oilers penalty kill, they have done a fantastic job. Like, it really starts even on limiting Dallas's zone entries. I don't know how many times Dallas tried to get in the zone, and like Desharnais or one of the forwards are right there, foot inside the blue line, boom, turnover, and the puck goes down the ice. As a guy who spent many times making up videos for the penalty kill, what's impressed you most about the Oilers PK thus far?
You know what? Exactly what you said. I think, like, I told the guys in Winnipeg, I mean, that our penalty kill was usually really good when our stance was really good at the blue line. If we ended up not following the play up and getting back in, and our forwards weren't there and our defense got in, I mean, as soon as you get into the top of the circles, teams are pretty much getting the entry, because they can drive it down and then throw it back to the point, or else they can go from there. So it's the stance for me was the big thing, and then, you know, that part of it, and then it gets the other team frustrated. Right now they can't get in, so now they're looking to do something different. Somebody's going to handle the puck a little more, and then you're a little more aggressive at that line, and you can get it shut down and never let them get a clean entry. And I mean, at the end of the day, if they end up dumping it in, then at least you got a chance to, again, win the battle and get a stick on it and get it down the ice, as opposed to them, you know, driving it down the half wall and turning up and looking for late guys coming or getting it in behind the net. So, I mean, that, for me, that part of it's been great. And I think the other part is that obviously the goaltender's been good, made some big saves when he has to on the penalty kill. We always say he's got to be your best penalty killer. And I think just working in fours, like anytime you get four guys moving and working together and going, then it usually works if you're aggressive. But if you get one guy going, the other guy kind of hesitating and not sure if he's supposed to go, that's when holes open up and you kind of get picked apart. So I think they've done a good job of moving in fours, and the stance has been great, like you said.
Charlie, great stuff, man. Enjoy the series. Really appreciate your time.
I will. Okay, anytime. Take care.
There you go. That's Charlie Huddy. Really good breakdown on the defensive position of the game, and it sounds like coaching might be in the rearview mirror. I could see it. You get out of it. You're kind of comfortable now. You've maybe moved on to that next phase. I like what he said. He goes, man, I'd love coming down to the rink, but I don't know if I want to spend 4 hours to make a 2-minute video for the penalty kill, and all of a sudden it changes. Now you're scrambling again. Oh, so I'm sure some coaches out there can relate to that. It is 2:41. We got a lot of text to get to. 833-401-1440. Do you agree with the McLeod for Henrique trade in the lineup? Would you have brought in Corey Perry? I would have. I'll tell you why next on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Hi, Brad McCory here. It's May, and that means it's time for our biggest sale of the year. We're practically giving away. Take our 2023 Ram 1500 Classic that was $59,000. Now, just $44,000. Yes, we're giving with savings up to $15,000 and an available 0% financing for 60 months on our new 2024 Ram 1500 Sports. We really are giving away. Hey, why do you keep bleeping me? I was just saying we were giving trucks away during our biggest sale of the year. Head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
The playoffs are wild. We all know that. And this year, Play Alberta is making it even wilder. Make a deposit with promo code Gregor50 to snag a $50 free sports bet with your next deposit. Get ready for unbeatable promotions throughout the playoffs with 10+ odds boost on every Oilers playoff game. Score a chance to win a pair of lower bowl or even exclusive suite tickets for an Oilers playoff game just by making a bet on an Oilers playoff game at playalberta.ca. Bonus terms and conditions apply.
For 50 years, GS Construction has been laying the groundwork for your community. But they couldn't have done it without building their employees from the ground up. Many of GS Construction's employees started without any industry experience at all. But because of such programs such as GS's Next Person Up, they've gone on to become valued members of the team. If you want to join the team as a laborer, pipe layer, or pipe layer's helper, lead hand, operator, top man, or woman, or water and sewer foreman, visit gsconstruction.ca.
Hold on to your hockey helmet, Edmonton. On the Rocks is serving up 60-cent wings that fly off the plate faster than a slap shot.
And Molson Canadian for $4.50.
OTR's TVs, they're so clear.
You'll see the puck better than the ref.
Plus, every game night during Edmonton's playoff run gives you a chance to be part of the Sack Attack.
You could win a Hyman jersey.
This is our year.
And our time to cheer.
Be a part of the legend.
On the Rocks.
On the Rocks. Jasper Ave 118.
Sports 1440 has added another player to our lineup tonight from 6 to 9. Check out Turn Sports with your host, Navin Romerick. Edmonton's exclusive home of sports talk is now rolling 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Excavators, loaders, lifts, compaction equipment, and more. Find the XCMG construction equipment you need. Available for rental or sale at Japa Machinery Group. Japa, helping build Alberta from the ground up for 50 years. Visit japamachinery.com.
Silent Ice Sports and Entertainment is an innovative market leader across Western Canada. With sports and entertainment properties including the Spruce Grove Saints, the Junior Prospects Hockey League, Silent Rides Charter Company, the Hockey Super League, and the newly launched Female Super League. Silent Ice also owns the Western Hockey League Seattle Thunderbirds and operates the Morinville AAA Arena. The Silent Ice Center, a new state-of-the-art entertainment facility, is open in Nisku, which features 2 sheets of ice, including a 1,600-seat arena and a restaurant with a viewing area.
You're on game day on Sports 1440, Orders Nation, YouTube, and Facebook. We have a loaded show. It's always presented by playalberta.ca. We'll have Owen Newkirk joining us after 3 o'clock at the Dallas side of things. We'll hear from Adam Henrique, who, of course, to put it mildly, rather excited to be back in the lineup tonight for the Edmonton Oilers. As we mentioned, Rupe Hintz will be game time decision for Dallas. Pete DeBoer did not want to tip his hand. Meanwhile, Chris Knobloch had no point. Yeah, Adam Henrique is in. Ryan McLeod is out. Let's move on. I thought you could make the argument that because the Oilers' third line has simply not been good. Fogle, McLeod, Derek Ryan when he's there, Corey Perry prior to that, there's been nothing. A whole bunch of goose eggs. McLeod doesn't have a point. Ryan doesn't have a goal. Fogle has an empty net goal. Right, the fourth line's outscoring the fourth line, by the way, was very good again. And they do a really good job of cycling the puck. And I would have strongly considered taking out McLeod or Fogle, and they chose to McLeod. It's fine. And Derek Ryan, and I would have put in Henrique and Perry. Now, I wouldn't have played Perry with Henrique. I would have played Perry actually with Janmark and Carrick because he's good with guys who cycle the puck. And then I would have Brown with Fogle and Henrique. I've got all guys on that third line that have scored 20 goals. You got Speed and Brown and Fogle. That's what I would have done. And I still might do it in the next game if I'm Chris Knobloch. And it's not that Derek Ryan's playing poorly. It's just if I'm looking for, you got no offense 5-on-5. And yes, he's good on the faceoffs on the penalty kill. That's important. No question. But are they going to have 5 times shorthanded in a game again this series? I'd be surprised. Right? I don't think Connor McDavid's going to get a double minor again. And the Bouchard penalty just shouldn't have been called. So there's 2 infractions that game. Last game, the Kane penalties late in the game, it's kind of done with, right? Only took 1 penalty. And if you look at Dallas games overall, you heard from Charlie Huddy that you kind of almost need 2 teams to tango when it comes to emotions. And you know what? This text kind of sums it up. Guys, I really like these games, but man, I sure miss the hate. After a whistle, like both teams just go to their bench. There's nothing happening. And it's true. It's very true from Ryan from Bentley. It's bang on. Like there's not a lot of real animosity. Now, did the players play hard? Yes. But we haven't got into that scrums and Dallas doesn't want to. So maybe for Edmonton, you do it. Now, you know what? Like Vancouver, for instance, you'd go to the net in Vancouver, you're taking 2 cross checks, right? Dallas defenders, I think a big reason why they don't take penalties, watch them tonight. Watch closely how they defend around the net. Sticks are down. Like their sticks anywhere on the ice aren't up. So you're not going to get an inadvertent high stick, right? If your stick's not up, there's less chance of you just, I'm going to reach and try to touch a guy. And now you got a hooking call, or now I have an obstruction call. They don't have any of those. And it's not just against Edmonton. They average 2 penalties a game against Dallas, 2 penalties a game against Colorado. Now, they don't get a boatload of power plays, but they just don't take a lot of penalties. So, say, hey boys, absolutely agree with Sidney McLeod. I would have definitely brought back Perry in and put out Ryan. Hey guys, Perry's slow. The Dallas series seems to be fast-paced. Not sure he'd keep up, from Josh. Well, I look at Corey Perry if it's going to be a foot race through the neutral zone, you're right. He's not. But keep in mind that Edmonton has only given up 3 scoring chances off the rush the entire first 2 games. And with Carrick and Janmark's a really good skater. With Carrick and Janmark, Corey Perry's good along the boards. They get the puck in, they go chip and chase, they go get it. So I could understand maybe, but it's not like Dallas's line of Smith and Steele and Delangelo are like burners. They're good skaters, sure. But I think if you can wear down the opposition, which what Corey does, like is Derek Ryan that much faster than Corey Perry? He's probably quicker. Not sure if he's faster, but it's a valid point. If you have some concern for it, I just look and And I'll ask the question, at 5-on-5, have you seen a lot from Derek Ryan? Like, he's not necessarily doing anything poorly, but he's not creating any offense. And he's also being outscored. Now, that line, the last 3 games, they're getting outscored. And you just can't have your third line outscored every night. You just can't do it. So that's why, to me, I would have at least contemplated it. Say, you know what? Maybe. So, hey, guys, I like the fact Colin brought in Perry. I hope he's brought back into the lineup. I think if he'll get in the grill of Ottinger. He's a greasy another player like Kane who can get in the face. What are your thoughts about bringing him back? He has a history of getting big goals in the playoffs from Alex. Well, that's another reason why, yeah. And I don't expect Corey Perry to score you a lot, but he has the ability. He's a better goal scorer his whole career. And look at even his goals per game this year. Still better. He only needs 1. He doesn't need 1 every 2 games. Hockey doesn't need 1 every 3 games. Hey, Gregor, why would you move Brown up instead of Perry? Well, because he's quicker, number 1. And number 2, Connor Brown's a streaky goal scorer. He just scored. I won't be surprised if Connor Brown scores again in the next 3 games. If you look at his whole career, he's a streaky scorer. He scores, all of a sudden it's like, he can score again. You read his interview with Nugent Bowman. He's like, oh, I feel like myself again and stuff. And hey, obviously scoring after whatever it was, 60 games, pro rate, or all the other years, like 2 calendar years since he'd scored, was a nice relief. I get it. And if the goal on Saturday jumpstarts him that much and he gets on a heater for a week, ride it out, baby. But Connor Brown is being a third-line guy lots. Like, I don't think Derek Ryan's a third-line player at this stage of his career. There's nothing wrong with that. But I don't think he's the third-line guy. And we might see it because, remember, we did see Brown and Ryan change last game. We might see Brown on the third line tonight. Don't rule it out. And then if that's the case, I definitely would have had Perry in over Ryan. Hey, guys, I would have I think we would learn more taking Fogle out just to keep another center in the lineup. I like the fourth line as it is. Perry needs to get in, though. I agree, from farm team. Yeah, hey, you know what? Maybe Fogle was a conversation piece. I think Ryan McLeod is one that this has kind of been building. I said this in the series against Vancouver. They weren't happy with his game. And now it's just kind of gotten worse because now it's starting to leak goals against. Right? He needs to play better. I think he's capable of it, and that's what his coach said today. He's got to get back in the groove. And sometimes, you know what? You need a wake-up call. This is a pretty significant wake-up call. There's no doubt about it. And boys, I would have had McLeod and Fogle flank Henrique, taking Brown out. 71 and 37 is showing great chemistry as a tandem. Ultimately, I trust KK, and I know McLeod needs a bit of a teaching moment. But I don't think 37-19-10 is an optimal use of our players. Well, that's why I'm not sold that you'll have Brown run. But I'm not taking Connor Brown out of after last game. Like, there's no chance. Zero. If you want to say you would have kept in McLeod and put him with Fogle and Henrique and taken out Ryan, I would totally agree with you. But I'm not taking out Connor Brown ahead of Derek Ryan right now. Brown's just as good on the penalty kill. He's quicker. And he scored. So, no, I definitely would not have done that. Hey, guys, has the Oilers' fourth line been the most consistent line the last few games? From Dean. Well, consistent, yes. And have they been the most impactful? Well, of course not, right? Like, McDavid's line was pretty good last game, right? If you look at the shots for and chances, they're fine. Game 1, they scored all 3 goals. But the fourth line, they're giving you exactly what you want. So consistency, yes. But, you know, the top line still being pretty good. And, you know, Leon Draisaitl had a pretty good run until he finally didn't have a point on Saturday night, first time all playoffs. So what's that? Put him tied, I think, for 5th longest point streak to start the playoffs. Not bad. Quick break. When we return after 3 o'clock, we'll go in the room. We'll hear from Adam Henrique. He's pretty fired up. Chris Knobloch. Also, might even get some thoughts from Pete DeBoer. And I'm very interested. Watch early on in the first period. If you have time, while you're watching the game. I know it's hard to do in real time, especially on TV, because you don't necessarily get to see the whole picture. It's easier sometimes in the arena because you can see the bench at this. Oh, okay, they're coming out now. This is who's coming out. I'm curious early on to see what are the matchups, because in the third period of game 2, Heiskanen played every shift against McDavid in the third period. Now, he played a lot of it with Lindell. He had the odd shift with Harley, but a lot of it was with Lindell. Now, the Oilers had loaded up both McDavid and Draisaitl on one line. So for basically the second half of that game. And that's why I would argue I'd prefer if they did not go to that. I didn't think it was necessary. They had an unreal first period. They just didn't score. The shots were 16-4. And then I know they had a stretch in the second, and late first was like 10 minutes or whatever without a shot. Okay, I get it. But they weren't giving up a ton at that point either. I wouldn't have went away. I wouldn't have went to that just yet. I can see if you want to go in the third period, 10 minutes, you're down a goal, knock your socks off. But I don't think they needed to do it that early. I think the team is better and more consistently dangerous when they're on separate lines. And the numbers will back it up. In the regular season, they both had a 60 goal share, 60% both. When they're on their separate lines, which was the majority of the time. I'd stick with that. Let's get to the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by High Street Insurance. They take the time to assess your commercial situation, ensuring that you get the coverage that's finely tuned to the nuances of your business operations. Started locally, expanded nationally, but they still call Edmonton home. Support local. HighStreetInsurance.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Game day, game 3 of the Western Conference Final. The Oilers hosting the Dallas Stars down at Rogers Place. Puck drop set for just after 6:30. Adam Henrique draws into the lineup. Ryan McLeod out for the Dallas Stars. Rupe Hintz listed as a game-time decision. In the association, the Celtics take on the Pacers in game 4 of their Eastern Conference Final. Tip-off just after 6. The Celtics leading 3-0. Some sad news from the association. Bill Walton, Hall of Fame center and 2-time NBA champion, passed away at the age of 71 after a battle with cancer. He finished his career averaging 13 points, 10 rebounds, and just over 2 blocks per game. Also was named to the 50th and 75th All-NBA teams. In the majors, the Toronto Blue Jays were victorious earlier today when they defeat the White Sox 5-1. You also had the Twins over the Royals 6-5, and the Orioles beating up on the Red Sox 11-3. Dodgers Mets postponed due to rain in the New York area. Games going on right now. You've got the Cubbies and Brewers scoreless. Guardians lead the Rockies 4-1. Reds up on the Cards 3-1, and the Braves trail the Nationals 6-0 midway through the third. In the Memorial Cup tonight, the 1-0 London Knights take on the 0-1 Moose Jaw Warriors. Puck drop in that one set for 5:30. And at the French Open, Canadians Felix Auger-Aliassime, Denis Shapovalov, Bianca Andreescu, and Leila Annie Fernandez were all victorious today. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Dallas Stars radio host Owen Newkirk. I'm Connor Halley. This has been the Sports 1440 Update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Building or renovating, you want to work with someone who sees and understands your vision. BIE Engineering is a family-owned, experienced structural engineering consulting firm serving commercial and residential clients in Edmonton and surrounding area. Homeowner or large company, they'll work with you to help see your ideas through. BIE Engineering can help prevent problems, deliver solutions, and minimize your risk. BIE Engineering. Request a quote for your project today. Visit BIEENG.com.
You adore your league. Your Wolf Night is maybe your beer.
O'clock. How are you? Welcome back to the Gregor Show on Sports 1440, Orders Nation, YouTube, and Facebook. How are you? Oh, hey, has anybody tracked down the Orders Nation guys? They're on the milk run from hell. The game was on Saturday night, and it is now Monday at just after 3 o'clock, and they're still not home. I laugh because it's not me. It's like when someone gets nutted. You know you shouldn't laugh, but you do. Just how it is. The milk run to Nashville, and you lose your luggage. You're losing your flights are canceled. Oh, that's the worst, man. Like travel day. The only saving grace is that you got somebody else with it. So misery likes company. Probably experiencing all the different airport lounges in Nashville. So I will say there's good barbecue chicken there, Cons. You ever been to Nashville?
No, not yet. It's on the list. I'd like to go check it out one day.
Oh, it's great, man. Yeah, it's good. Get to Broadway. It's lots of fun.
Would you prefer Nashville or Vegas right now? Going to have a good little weekend with anyone, whoever.
But they're very different. It's like Nashville's a lot more down to earth than I find. In Vegas, everybody's, if you don't have like a shiny shirt on or something, or everybody's wearing too tight of shirts, maybe, like, it's just a different vibe. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Like there's not. Well, the other thing is there's no pools really in Nashville that I'm aware of. Where so that's the one benefit of Vegas, where it can be hot out, but you can sit in the pool all day. So now some would debate the cleanliness of those pools, which is
I'd be one of those people.
Yeah. So
don't take a GoPro into a Vegas pool.
Well, I don't think that's legal. Like, what do you mean? Don't take a GoPro? What do you film it underwater?
I had a friend who brought a GoPro. I had to take videos above the water, but it fell in, and the water is awful, as expected. No one was surprised by it. But
why would he take a GoPro in the pool? Like, I don't know, just kind of
because they're waterproof, right? So he was like throwing it around and stuff.
Guess, it's just kind of creepy. Like, who are you filming?
It was innocent, but there are some creepy vibes.
Oh, totally. That's creep show. To me, that's just like, no, I don't think so. Like, was he single?
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking other girls are like, what?
But he wasn't like holding it underwater, like doing that.
I know, but still, either way, it's like, but he's just filming everybody else. Like, I don't know. Like, that would be, I think we film way too much. It's terrible anyway. Like, I think ladies can answer this for me. But if you're in a pool and you see a guy in the pool, even if the GoPro's on his head, aren't you like, creep? Right away. It's just like something's a little bit off. I don't know. Let me know, ladies. 833-401-1440. I could be wrong. Like, to me, I'd be like, dude, turn the camera off. I didn't whatever. If he's in a guy's great, but I still don't want it to film. Like, I don't know. It just seems a weird thing. So let's see. Guys, why'd they go to Nashville? Well, guys, they booked. It's a very good question, Greg. Nashville's the opposite direction to Edmonton, but it was a milk run. Purchased tickets at the last second, and it was going from Dallas to Nashville, and then Nashville somewhere else, and then home, and it just became an absolute gong show. So not good for them. Let's go to the oil report now, brought to you by Volvo Cars Edmonton.com, Alberta's #1 Volvo dealership across Canada. #1 in sales and service. You're looking for a great deal, 0.99% financing on leases, or you can get an additional $5,000 off select models right now at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com. And, hey, first of all, on McLeod coming out, and, does he hope this could maybe be a reset for McLeod like it was for Skinner?
Absolutely. It's a reset. Clowder's going to be part of this team. Whether he comes in the next game or following, we're going to see him sooner than later. There's a lot to like about his game. A lot of it is from the penalty kill. He's been contributing a lot there with his quickness, his reads, 5-on-5. Hasn't been playing quite like he had been, especially in the middle part of the season. In January, February was probably the top performance. I think it's important that he has just a little reset. We've got a lot of players that are playing well. and it's been difficult to take anybody out of the lineup, whether that's been Corey Perry, Connor Brown, Sam Carrick. We have depth. We got a lot of good players that are healthy that can help us win. And right now, he won't play tonight.
Not a huge surprise, I don't think, but he's out. And, just his thoughts on the decision on Henrique. Did they wait extra just to ensure that this time he's ready to go? And any concern about a little bit of loss in speed?
Well, when Adam was available, felt that he was 100%, then we want him in the lineup. He's a very important player for us. He can kill penalties, he can be on the power play, and he's a really good 5-on-5 player. And there's games where we could have put him in. I would say he was very close, maybe not 100%, but I'm sure if it was the Stanley Cup Final Game 7, we would have had him in earlier than we are putting him tonight. But I think with his experience, his smarts, that he'll help us tonight.
Now, speaking of Henrique, just ask him about the mental hurdles, going through the injury, frustration, all that, and finally getting back now.
Yeah, it's, I guess it was just a day-to-day kind of thing, mentally too. I think mentally probably harder than physically with certain things, and just not being able to be out there to help. It's more nerve-wracking watching than playing, and certainly learned a lot about that. So, but watching the guys, seeing everybody kind of come together and push through and battle, it was, certainly great to watch and see the team continue to get better. And you're just itching to be a part of that. So it's nice to finally be here.
Oh God, I would think so. Like, that'd be the worst, right? Like, you're part of the team, but you don't play. It's very, very tough. How does he feel? What's he going to bring? How can he help the third line, specifically maybe try to add some offense to a third line that has yet to score a goal in the playoffs?
Well, my game, it doesn't really change. It stays the same where playing third line or up or center or wing or whatever it may be. So, hopefully we just have some chemistry right off the bat. I think for us as a group or as a line, play a hard, simple game. Get up and down the ice, try to use our speed and use what we have to be effective and to try and be difference makers.
Well, that's what you have to have. There's no question. And you know what? Henrique, though, he's a better finisher than Ryan McLeod. That's been proven in his history. So that's obviously what he'll do. And just asked him about, from his perch upstairs, you get to see a lot more. What has he liked about his team through 2 games of this series?
I think everybody's been involved. It's been a team effort. Seeing the guys stick together that first game and go through overtime and find a way to come out there with that one. Dallas is a great team. They had to push back in game 2, but I think as a group, our game's where we want it to be, and we just have to continue to find ways to find wins.
3 left. And what about, do you get a sense from watching on what you need to do out there? And is there any challenges of coming in now to a series when you haven't played in over 2 weeks?
I think a bit of both. I think jumping in the lineup, you find your own way and find where, you can have a difference and be a difference maker. I think watching up top, it is a different point of view, I guess. Things tend to slow down up top, and you can see a lot of things and see a lot of plays. But Dallas defends well. They've been that type of team all year. So it's it's certainly nerve-wracking watching, and it's going to be nice to be back on the ice.
Oh God, I can imagine. Like you feel helpless. You can't do anything. So most parents know that when you watch your kid play sports, right? Or just like you're sitting back and you see something happening at the playground, and then you're in slow motion running, you can't get there, and now the kid's face planted into the gravel. Every parent knows. You've been through it. Just deal with it. Hey boys, I'm taking Nashville over Vegas 11 times out of 10. Ooh, a lot of big Nashville fans. Hey guys, most Vegas pools won't allow GoPros because of how creepy it is. From Brock. Yeah, see, there you go, Cons.
It's a different time.
This is like how long ago? What are you talking?
Like when
50?
GoPro like first came out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was like a new toy. It wasn't like
okay.
I don't know, different vibes.
Okay. Yeah.
I get the creepiness factor for sure, but it wasn't like a smuggle this in. It was like fully in people's view.
Hey guys, over here, creeps are us, right over here.
Hey, just creeping.
Were you guys all wearing mustaches too? Not that there's anything wrong with guys wearing mustache. I'm just saying.
Slope.
Just saying.
No stashes back.
You weren't looking like the Nuge?
No.
Okay.
He's put it together though.
Well, it's pretty. His stash has thickened up a bit over time, right?
That happened when you become a dad? Well,
I don't know, but it's hilarious. Like he's got a decent stash, but you see, like I was talking to him today, and he's got like the little peach fuzz still on his chin. It's so funny. Like that's what I see why they call him Baby Nuge, man. Like good for him. Nugent Hopkins is gonna be 70, and people will be like, "Oh, geez, there's a nice looking 40-year-old." Like he looks really young, but oh my god, it was so funny up close. I don't even know if you can see it on camera. It's almost like he trimmed the peach fuzz. So that's what makes it even better.
Kind of thought he did, to be honest with you.
Oh god, it's awesome. But I will say, like, we should get a picture of Nugent Hopkins in 2017, his first year in the playoffs, and then like his stash is thicker. It does thicken out over time, right? It seems like it's a little bit thicker now for him. So that's a good sign. There's no question about it. So we have a few more texts coming in. 833-401-1440. Hey guys, you happen to watch any of the Florida Ranger series? I'm curious why you think that series is so much more physical than ours. There's hits all over the place. Trouba's flying elbows. How come Edmonton and Dallas have yet to have that? It's a good question. But Florida is a team that's part of their DNA. That's their style. Now, Edmonton, if you want to play physical, they can ratchet it up a bit. But that's not necessarily their like bread and butter. Florida is a team that they like to try to bully you. They're going to play physical. And the New York Rangers are like, all right, we got Trouba, we got Goudreau, we got Rempe. We got enough guys. If we want to, we can do it. And Lindgren's pretty hard hitter. So it's just different styles, right? Like that's that. And you know what? If you're watching that series and you're an Edmonton or a Dallas fan, you're like, good, just keep pounding the you-know-what out of each other and have it go 7 games. And then whoever wins the West, because this series right now, comparatively, it's fast. And there's not the dirtiness, there's not the chippiness, and there's not as much physicality across the board, right? Like there's scrums in that game, like just like the Florida Panther guys, they come in every time there's a whistle, someone's coming up. You got Kachuk, you got Bennett, you got on the back end Kulikov. Like they're always looking for something. Watch Dallas. Ottinger frees the puck, they're just like, okay, done. Like they don't even stand there. It's just totally different. So, yeah, I don't know if you're ever going to get it like that. It's just not totally different styles of play. That's where they go. Quick break. When we come back, we will go to Dallas. We're going to hear what the Stars, how close is Rupe Hintz? Somebody's got to know. Let's find out next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
When summer brings the heat, McDonald's brings the chill. During summer drink days, enjoy a small iced coffee or a refreshing Coca-Cola for $1 plus tax and step up your summer today. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada, prices exclude delivery.
The playoffs are wild. We all know that. And this year, Play Alberta is making it even wilder. Make a deposit with promo code Gregor50 to snag a $50 free sports bet with your next deposit. Get ready for unbeatable promotions throughout the playoffs with 10+ odds boost on every Oilers playoff game. Score a chance to win a pair of lower bowl or even exclusive sweet tickets for an Oilers playoff game just by making a bet on an Oilers playoff game at playalberta.ca. Bonus terms and conditions apply.
Your love for strawberries is very passionate, you say. Just wait till you get your next taste of Booster Juice. The new strawberry blush smoothie made with strawberries, bananas, vanilla oat, and vanilla frozen yogurt will make you fall in love. And there's no tea like the Strawberry Serenity Teaser, a blend of strawberry juice, green tea, and honey. And for a tasty treat to pair perfectly with your berry obsession, the Strawberries and Cream Booster Ball has returned like your favorite dream. Visit a Booster Juice near you today or download the Booster Rewards app.
Your Edmonton Riverhawks usher in the 2024 season with a massive home opener party next Friday, June 7th, featuring Indigenous performances, a round dance, and an unbelievable light show. Get your tickets today to watch the Hawks play at gohawks.ca.
This spring, the savings continue at the Brick. Take up to 40% off furniture and mattresses, as well as the chance to scratch and save an additional 40% off your purchase. Plus, you'll have the chance to win great prizes, including a $10,000 Brick shopping spree. Find amazing deals on kitchen appliances, up $400 on sofas, so you can prepare your ultimate game day snacks and then watch the game in style. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
I'm Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. And I'm Zach Hyman. And when we're not making juicy, sweet passes or having my goals disallowed, we're working for Legacy Heating and Cooling. You know, guys used to call me a plumber. And now they call you an AC repairman. Nice.
Hey, guys, you're not here to fix air conditioners. You're here to sing the jingle.
Oh.
Well.
Okay. Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
No payments and no interest for 1 year from qualified installers. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Vision Credit Union is proud to serve rural Albertan entrepreneurs, business owners like Steve and Haley, who own Blue Jay Storage in Camrose. Their company offers secure self-storage options ranging from closet-sized units to RV parking pads. To make things convenient for customers, Blue Jay's gates are open 15 hours a day, 7 days a week. Way to get down to business, you two. Looking for financial services to help your company get down to business? Learn more at visioncu.ca.
Clear up some garage space and keep your tires in prime condition at Windermere Chrysler. We offer convenient, on-site seasonal tire storage that ensures your tires are safe, sound, and ready when you need them. With every service visit, enjoy a complimentary tire and wheel alignment analysis, plus a thorough car wash and vacuum. Trust Windermere Chrysler to maintain both your vehicle and your tires to impeccable condition.
The choice is clear.
It's Windermere. Visit windermeredodge.ca.
Rolling through game day. Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube and Facebook, streaming live at sports1440.ca. Thanks for watching and listening as you get set. Remember, tonight's puck drop, 6:40. It's getting earlier. 6:40 tonight, 6:40 on Wednesday. So plan accordingly. Barbecue season right now. And how many of you are all fired up? And how many of you have noticed, does your partner or spouse who's not a real sports fan are they suddenly into the playoffs? Are they planning dinners more? Are they like, hey, what are we doing? Are we going to have special food? Are we having a viewing party, getting together with family, with the neighbors? Have you noticed that person in your life who usually gives two you-know-whats about the regular season, but suddenly they're in? I'm curious just what the increase in excitement is amongst those fans at this point, which to me I think is great. Right? The more the merrier. Don't you want more people involved and join it? Why not? It's fun. So get your thoughts. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. Let's go in the room, brought to you by Next Gen Transportation, heavy haul transport provider, 100% locally owned and operated, and proud partner of numerous youth sports teams. That is nextgentransportation.com. Owen Newkirk joins us, of course, radio host for the Dallas Stars. And Owen, I guess the big question, when Edmonton fans were waiting, when's Henry coming back? And now he's back. What's your gut telling you about Rupe Hintz when you watch him in the skates and everything? Are we going to see him in the lineup tonight?
Well, Jason, first of all, thanks for having me back. So it means I must have said something that wasn't totally terrible. So that's always a plus. And to your earlier point, as I was coming on, you're absolutely right. There's always room for the bandwagoners. Welcome one and all. It's not just the diehards that have been with us all season long. Come join it. It's a fun ride. As far as Rupe Hintz, I was really 50-50 until we saw that he didn't stay out late this morning at the Game 3 morning skate. That means that, look, I'm not at 80 or 90%. I'm just at, okay, he stayed out late Game 2 in Dallas. He was there with Foxa, and all of a sudden we went, oh, maybe we're going to see Ty Dellandrea. And this was after we had already been in the room. We had already talked to Pete DeBoer. So obviously we couldn't ask him, hey, is Ty Dellandrea coming in? He did and played in Game 2. So for me, the fact that Rupe didn't stay late made me go from 50-50 maybe to like 75%. But I'm not holding my breath yet. I'll believe it when he's out there for the warm-up tonight.
Yeah. No. So that was my next question. If he's taking warm-up, do you think that means he's in for sure?
Yeah, I do. I don't think that they're going to bother having Rupe Hintz go out and skate warm-up just for gamesmanship. Look, we've seen it in past series before, but this doesn't feel like one of those series, right? That so far, the Oilers and Stars have not been doing a whole lot of, misdirection when it comes to on the ice or off the ice. So I doubt that, but I'm leaving open the possibility there's still some fun to be had.
Yeah. Yeah. The order, Chris Naubeck doesn't really do that very often. And neither does DeBoer, to be honest. If you look at the history of it. So it, to me, it makes sense. And so if Rupe Hintz comes back, is it just safe to say that then they'll just move Seguin back to the wing?
I would think so. Not only because that's what they've done all year, but because it would reunite him with Matt Duchene and Mason Marchment, which was arguably their most consistent line all season. So that makes a lot of sense. What will be really interesting is, are they going to do what we saw most of the season, which would be go with Robertson, Hintz, Pavelski, and then move Dodonov down to the fourth line?
Right.
Or do they do something with Captain America, whether it's look, they're not going to scratch him. They trust him too much. Would they put him on the fourth line? That would require moving Craig Smith either to the left wing or taking somebody out. I think Dellandrea would probably be the first guy to go if Hintz is back in. But right now, my gut says Joe Pavelski is going to play with Hintz. He's not going to be, at least to start the game, designated to fourth line duty.
Last game in the third period, Miro Heiskanen was out at every shift against McDavid. And that's, Lindell was obviously out there lots too, but, that's a little bit of a shift from them from the first game. And now they don't have last change. When you watch Dallas, they're 5-1 on the road. When they went into Colorado and, McDavid and McKinnon, similar. So what was their approach in on the road? Like, was it, we'll just split it between Heiskanen and Suter? Because they try to protect Thomas Harley, I've noticed a little bit against McDavid, and then just go Tanev, Lindell. Is that what they did in Denver against McKinnon?
Yeah, so that's the big difference with adding Tanev at the deadline, is that they no longer had to worry as much about defensive pairing matchups because they're really comfortable with Tanev, Lindell, or with Heiskanen, Harley, or Suter going up there in those late game situations. There may be, as you saw in game 2, a couple instances where they might pull Harley off the ice for a little bit more of a defensive look with Suter, but I don't think they're that afraid of it. Now, Harley looked a little shaky in game 1. Look, the whole team did, but he was one of the guys that stood out to me as having maybe his worst game of the playoffs because he's been really, really good. And we forget that he's still a really young guy, only playing his first full season in the NHL this year. He'd been, parts had passed, but never a real mainstay. And he didn't even start as a power play guy this year. We all knew when he was drafted, he was a big upside offensive guy, but they wanted him to earn that. And so at the beginning of this season, he was not the second power play quarterback. Now, you've noticed probably, although there haven't been a lot of power plays, that Miro's been out there for both units for most of it. That's not the case most of the time in the regular season, but we've seen him double up a lot more in the playoffs.
Yeah. So, and Hakanpää, are we going to even see him in the series, do you think, or not really?
I really don't think so. There's an outside chance, but, Pete said yesterday before the team took off for Edmonton that until he sees him out there with the team, he's not close. Well, we kind of know that, right? There's a progression. When you're hurt, you're really out of sight. You're not out of mind. But until we see you in a team practice, I don't care how many times you say day to day, it's just not that close. Well, The fact that he didn't even travel to Edmonton and stayed back in Dallas to rehab just shows that he really isn't that close.
Okay.
I think they have some sort of hope that maybe he'd be available at the later part of this playoff run. But right now, we've been hearing he's sort of close for about a month. So I don't think he's going to be able to be available, at least for this round.
What's his injury?
He has a lower body injury. That's what we've been told. So obviously a much bigger deal when it comes to skating. Rope Hintz is an upper body. Skating's not his problem. Maybe it's holding a stick. Maybe it's shooting. We don't know the details. We saw in Denver that he took a cross check from Nathan McKinnon. And then on that same play, he blocked a shot. And so a bunch of people thought it was the block of the shot to the leg that they were worried about because he kind of crumpled for a minute. But I believe it's an injury he'd been dealing with going back to the last few weeks, at least of the regular season. Again, we haven't had any kind of detail, but when you saw McKinnon cross-check him, it was sort of in the forearm wrist area. I think that exacerbated the problem.
Owen Newkirk joins us from Dallas, Stars and Oilers game 3 tonight. Henrique is in. Rupe Hintz didn't stay out late this morning. Usually that's a sign the guy's really close to coming back. We'll find out if he's in the warm-up, but it looks like he will be in, and then they could have him back on the line with Duchesne and Marchment, which would be good for them. And as Owen mentioned, then what would they do with Joe Pavelski potentially, which adds some intrigue. The Dallas Stars, I'm watching this series, and I'm kind of like they don't get into any real, after the whistle stuff at all. Has Vegas loved to, was any team successful in trying to get Dallas into those little scrums that they seem to like to avoid and say, I don't want to waste any energy doing that?
No, and this goes all the way back to last year in the first round against the Minnesota Wild. The Wild didn't want to play a, really tight offensive game against the Stars. They wanted to go physical. They wanted to disrupt Dallas, and they tried everything before and after the whistle. And instead of engaging in it, Dallas said, and Pete DeBoer actually had a war of words with Dean Evison in the press saying, we're just going to keep scoring on the power play if they want to take dumb penalties. And it was very entertaining for all of us media and broadcasters alike. But this time around, it's been too much respect from both sides. In the Vegas series, they were very cognizant of the Stars power play. The Stars were very worried about the Vegas power play. Then you have Colorado, you have McKinnon, Rantanen, Makar, Nichushkin before he was suspended. Same problem. And obviously, what the Oilers have with their power play. So I think that it just comes from a mutual respect of not wanting to get too caught up in the extracurriculars because they know that either side is going to make them pay if they get really undisciplined.
Okay. And that makes sense. I get the theory behind it. You look at Jamie Benn, he's been very good in this series. And, you mentioned Pavelski. Is Joe Pavelski, are we finally starting to see a little wear on the treads?
He had 60-plus points this year, so it's hard to say no, but it hasn't quite clicked as much. But then, look at Jason Robertson, hasn't scored a goal in 10 games. He's had tons of assists. He's been a playmaker. He's still doing well, but everybody around Dallas is clamoring for Robo to score a couple of goals. The same is true with Joe Pavelski. And if you watch his game, and, Jason, you would be the kind of eye that would notice the little details. Things like getting the puck on the half wall in the breakout and making the right play, making sure he doesn't turn it over at the blue line, getting it deep, making a good defensive read, block or taking positioning, all those little things that a guy like Pavelski does. It doesn't take away from the lack of offense, but it still means that he can be an effective player. It's not as though he's getting shredded out there at every moment. Pete actually was addressing this the other day and said, I know Joe's frustrated with the productivity, but I still trust him because of who he is and the skins he has on the wall. I'm not going to make any money betting against Joe Pavelski, because if you tried to do that before, you would have been wrong. But I do wonder if the Stars were able to win the Stanley Cup this year, would this be it for Joe Pavelski? Because he's never been super fast, but there's been a couple of times this year where he's been notably a little slower. But he's the kind of guy that would hear me say that, or probably not care less of what I said, but hear that and say, yeah, I'm going to score a hat trick tonight just to show you guys I still have it.
Yeah, no, it's fair. You don't really notice him as much, right? It's kind of like Corey Perry when he was playing in Edmonton. You'd still see the signs, right? Two guys were really good in front of the net, but hey, age catches up with everyone, and it's hard when you play that many games to maintain it. What about Ryan Suter's game overall?
I think Ryan Suter's game has actually improved since Chris Tanev has gotten to Dallas. And what I mean by that is he is in the perfect slot as the number 5 for this team. I think that he's still capable of playing next to Miro Heiskanen, being good defensively, especially in late game situations. But the days of Ryan Suter playing 80 minutes a game, even in a 60-minute game, is just not there anymore, right? And he used to be a 1. Not even a first pairing. He was a solid 1 for a bulk of his career. Third pair defenseman, can jump in and play penalty kill, can play on those defensive minutes. I think that's where he's really at his best. And playing in that 15 to 18 minute range is a lot more sustainable for him at this age than 25 to 28 or 29 like he used to.
And lastly, is there anything that Dallas looks at their first 2 games and says, like, Edmonton's really limited them off the rush? Dallas is the 4th best team in the NHL, 3rd best in the playoffs at producing chances off the rush, and Edmonton's really taken that away from them, 16-3 through 2 games. Is that something you've talked to? Like, what are the Stars saying they want to do better that they didn't do in the first 2 games?
Well, if you look at the first game, they didn't really have, other than I think a 1 breakaway, they didn't have any rush chances at all. And credit to what the Oilers did, but I also thought you saw a little bit of sloppiness in their game. Maybe you attribute that to the 5-day break. I mean, that's what we all said. I kind of believe it, but I also think that the Oilers, coming off of Game 7, still had a bit of that mental sharpness of playing in a really high impact game only a couple days before. And so I think that showed itself on the ice. Dallas was really sloppy. Their transition game was not very good. Go to Game 2, it was better. You started to see some turnovers leading to 2-on-1s, some rush chances. I think Stuart Skinner has actually played above expectation. Now, maybe that wasn't fair, that he was getting bagged a little bit more than he deserved coming off the Vancouver series, but he's been really, really good. And, the scouting report on Skinner was not very good against rush chances. Part of what Edmonton's done really well is to limit that. I think Dallas, if you go back to Game 2, the first period is a period of what the Stars don't want to have happen, except the way Jake Ottinger played. But if you see the second and third periods, that's what they want. That's their game. Having the lead helps because they can hit on the counterattack and force Edmonton to try to take some risks. That's where their transition game is at its best. But one thing you'll see maybe a little differently is this is the number 1 road team in the league for a reason. They play very much within themselves on the road. They aren't trying to, I don't know if you want to say ham it up for the home fans or just do that little bit extra. I think that's sort of an intrinsic quality that happens at any team's home rink. And Dallas just, it's simple. Sometimes it's not very flashy, but when they get that speed going, whether it's turnovers at the blue line and getting right back in the zone, or if it's creating rush chances off of mistakes and their side of the ice, that's when they're really dangerous. But look, we know Edmonton's going to be like Rogers Place is going to be wound up tonight. And this will be the first playoff game for many of these Stars fans in Edmonton since the bubble. So we'll see if they have any PTSD about it.
Oh, it should be great, man. We look forward to it. Enjoy the game tonight.
Thanks, Jason. Appreciate you having me on.
There you go. That's Owen Newkirk joining us from Dallas. So Rupe Hintz not on the ice late, which is normally like one of the easiest telltale signs that a guy's going to play. He has it 75. Heck, I'd probably put it closer tonight. I can't remember the last time a player who had stayed out late every other day and then never played, and then now all of a sudden didn't stay out late. Now, maybe I guess because to me, you either know you can play at 11:30 in the morning or you don't. None of this, we're going to go out to the morning skate and trust me, the morning skate, there's nothing you're doing out there that's going to be the deciding factor. Oh, man, I just did 3 really hard line rushes here. I'm ready to go. That's not how it works. So I would think we'll probably see Henrique and Rupe Hintz tonight in this game. That just adds to it. A few better players should, in theory, make for a better series. I like it. 3:42. Quick break. We'll return. We'll hear more from In the Room. Also, we'll get Wanye Gretz is coming up. Petrillo and more on the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Building or renovating, you want to work with someone who sees and understands your vision. BIE Engineering is a family-owned, experienced structural engineering consulting firm serving commercial and residential clients in Edmonton and surrounding area. Homeowner or large company, they'll work with you to help see your ideas through. BIE Engineering can help prevent problems, deliver solutions, and minimize your risk. BIE Engineering. Request a quote for your project today. Visit BIEENG.com.
Ennio and Jason are friends. Hey, buddy. What's up, buddy? Except when they talk hockey. Edmonton had all those
second row on the left
picks, and they still
Chris, is that the only lineup change tonight?
we still beat you. Battle of Alberta champs.
The matchup game for you
now makes the best beef jerky in Alberta, and they'll tell you. Wheelhawk beef jerky. It might be the only thing Alberta hockey fans can agree on.
Pick up some Wheelhawk beef jerky today in Leduc, Spruce Grove,
the
and West
matchup
Edmonton
game
Mall.
for you now. You have last change. We saw Dallas alter a bit what they wanted in the matchup. You foresee, something where you will search for as you get deeper in the playoffs. You haven't really ever chased the matchup, but even for a few shifts, do you think now's the time you hone in more on the matchup?
You know what time it is now. Get up and give me your best noodle dance.
It all depends on the game.
Yo, what time of day is noodle
That we have that in lineup.
The Locks are on a timer. They're going to get out.
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
For our
Service
guys,
team reporting with the remarkable reach of our bucket trucks and other equipment. We assess, service, and maintain
Third row on the right.
electrical lighting
Chris,
and automation systems.
Dallas is 5-1 on the road in the playoffs. Are you seeing anything from them during their road games in the playoffs that's allowing them to be that successful? And
Sports 1440 has
you
added another player to our
counter
lineup
that.
tonight from 6 to 9. Check out Turn
No, I've
Sports
seen
with your
it.
host, Navin Romerick. Edmonton's exclusive homes of sports talk is now rolling 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
A solid financial plan is made up of more than just investments. Investments are an important part, but you need a more comprehensive approach. Roger Weird at
No, I
Weird
haven't
Pearson
seen it.
Akel and Associates Private Wealth Management understands that. He can help build a plan that includes retirement, estate planning, personal insurance,
Stay in the
tax
same road, Tony.
strategies, and yes,
Morning, Chris.
investments. Talk to
I
him
just asked
today
Matthias
and see the
Ekholm what he
difference
likes
a
most
real
about
financial
the
plan
team
makes.
defense and the
Weird Pearson
discipline
Akel and Associates.
that's needed
Call
to execute the way you guys have been here for 2
780-4119
games.
or visit
I want to ask you, you talked about the
weirdadvisoryteam.com.
There's still time to book your tournament at the Ranch Golf and Country Club.
As one of Alberta's top tourney courses, the Ranch
specifically
makes
when the team
hosting
gets
fun
scored
and
on.
easy
I ask you as a head coach, what do you
No
like
matter
about your
how
team's
unique
response?
or
What do you like about the
unusual,
chatter
they'll
that happens
accommodate your vision
after your
for an
team gets
event
scored on,
no
or
one
no
will soon
chatter at all?
forget.
What do you like
Start
most?
planning your tournament today at their beautifully landscaped
You know, I
course
think we've
on
done
the
a pretty good
outskirts
job.
of West Edmonton. On-site
Whatever
event
happens
coordinators
here,
are here to
just
help.
with
But hurry,
that,
availability is
continue to play
limited
pretty
and
good.
booking fast.
Visit theranchgolf.com.
Try the new extra large New York style crispy pepperoni pizza only from Papa John's.
Get you some of that crispy, curly, cuppy pepperoni on top of an extra-large New York-style crust pizza with cream and
Last
tomato
one, third row on the right.
big cheese blend.
One more for me, Chris. Last game, or in the
like
first
you're in
period, you guys
NYC
came
and
out, created a
order
lot
one
of
now.
opportunities
The extra-large
offensively.
New
Did you see
York-style
anything in
crispy
that
pepperoni
period
pizza
that
for
you can
just
bottle and take into this
$22.99.
game?
Only at Papa
No,
John's.
I like their
Better
energy. I thought we
ingredients,
moved
better
the puck really
pizza,
quickly.
Better get you some.
First period, you guys came out, created a lot of
For over
opportunities
65
offensively.
years,
Did you
Canada
see anything
Ford
in
has
that period that you can
delivered
bottle?
the customer service.
.348 Monday afternoon. You're getting set. You are less than 3 hours from puck drop because tonight puck drop is 6:40 Edmonton time. All right. So be prepared. Get excited. Hey guys, my wife pretty much couldn't care less about hockey and the Oilers during the regular season other than waiting for them to win so that I'm happy. Now that the playoffs are here, she still doesn't watch, but this time it's because she gets too nervous from Richard. You know what? It's funny. We had a soccer practice last week, and one of the neighbors or kids on our team, and so my wife's going to take him. She's like, you know what? I can't watch the games. It's too nerve-wracking for me. So I'll just take him to soccer, and then I only have to watch one period. Like some people just get so fired up about it. It's great. Wow, we've talked about this before, right? Like there's the person in your house. It's a pacer. They get up and they walk out of the room, and then they come back, right? It's awesome. Like the range of emotion for different people, like every scoring chance gets people like their heart rate. It would be interesting to see if somebody put one of those monitors on to see what their heart rate was during a game. Like now, some people are a lot more calm, even on the outside, but that doesn't mean that you're calm on the inside, right? But oh my goodness, it is amazing the type of reaction that some people have during the games. It's great. They get fired right up. Some are getting nervous. Some are scared. They can't handle it. They can't watch it. It's amazing. I think it's great. It's always somewhat comedic a little bit for me to see the person that gets like super intense, because they don't really get intense about anything else, but then all of a sudden they'll get super intense about that. Also today we should did you know that he's just answering the phone, but I'll get him back in a second. Today's a big day for the con man. Big day because he remembered. So that's always the first step in an important relationship. But we'll tell he's just on the blower talking to one of you, evidently. Lots more text flying in at 833-401-1440. Hey, guys, I've done the monitor. I get up to 130 at moments. It's not bad. It's like being jogging. What's up, Cons?
Just had a caller. He said his heart rate while sitting during the Vancouver series, 58, and then got up to 116 when things went downhill.
Oh.
I believe it was Nabil. So, yeah, I think that's it's a good example of it.
Yeah, you can see it. It's a roller coaster of emotion right there. Now, comment, today is your anniversary.
It is.
You remembered.
Oh, absolutely.
That's the first step.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Do you abide by the classic on what the gift should be based on the year?
Well, I looked that up, and they say for year one it's paper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you write a letter.
See, I brought that up, and then it said more modern is a clock. So I can't tell you what the gift is. I got a gift.
So you haven't given it yet? You're giving it the gift tonight?
Well, the thing is, I can't say too much about it. It was something that was made custom.
Oh,
and
look at
it
you.
hasn't been finished or sent yet. So she knows that. She was like, "Oh,
so your gift is delayed on your first anniversary." Is that what I'm hearing?
And she was okay with that because I don't even think she wanted a gift. So we just bought a house. We gotta.
That's true. That's true. When you get possession, do you have to finalize that deal?
Beginning of July.
Beginning of July.
So we got another month, give or take. But yeah, we were like, let's not spend too much. But what I did get her is awesome, and it will just take a little bit longer to get here.
Hey, Cons, are you giving your wife a timer for cooking? From Tiger.
I don't think that's good advice, man.
Oh my God. I would love somebody out there to fess up to the worst anniversary gift that you were given, or more importantly, that you gave. And at the time you were like, oh, this is a good idea. And then the minute he or she opened it, you realized that was a mistake.
Like a functional thing was not a good one to give.
Any gift that you can give for an anniversary gift that you had pretty quick regret on. My buddy bought his wife an iron for their 4th wedding anniversary. Like, of all the gifts that, because an iron's like the least sexy. I don't even know if you call it appliance, right? Probably not an appliance, whatever you want to call it. And it's just like, really? Because I know some people who get excited about a vacuum. They're like, hey, I get pretty excited about it. Like a good vacuum.
A new Dyson?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, come on. You can see it right away. Now, an iron, I don't know anybody who's like, oh, I love ironing. You do it because you have to. But I know lots of people who like vacuuming. Right? They enjoy it. You put your headphones on, whatever. You're vacuuming around. You're feeling good. It's sucking up. Oh, yeah, look at you, Mr. Dirt. I got you. Now they're excited. But I don't know if I've ever met anybody who's a super fan of ironing. So
at least get a steamer.
Yeah. Hey guys, one of my buddies bought winter tires for his wife one year. Yeah, but that's practical.
That's a good idea.
Right? That's practical. And that's a pretty big gift. Getting 4 sets of tires at Fountain Tire right now, man. It's no joke. But it all depends. When's your anniversary? Right? If your anniversary is in October or November, well, that's good. But if your anniversary is in May or August or June or July, you can't buy winter tires then. Because now you're thinking way too far ahead. That's not going to go over very well. Hey, guys, I got swimming lessons as a gift from Jasmine. Well, Jasmine, did you like it? That's the question.
Functional gift. Could save your life one day.
It's true. Did you want to learn swimming? I need to know more about this story. A, did you want them? Or was it a surprise? Because if it's a surprise, that's a pretty bold gift. Hi, honey. Happy anniversary. Oh, what's this? Oh, it's swimming lessons. Oh. Hey, guys, true story. My grandma used to iron the bed sheets. Really? Oh, good for her. She must have had a lot of spare time. I don't know. I don't like tucking my bed sheet in. I'll make my bed, but I never tuck in the end. I can't handle it. I don't want to be I don't like being tapped in. No, I'm an instant. I gotta have my feet so they can hang out. I don't like it. Just I don't want to be in like a sleeping bag. I don't like it.
We were at a hotel over the weekend. Non-fitted sheets are the worst. Just on the topic of sheets.
What do you mean, like for the bottom part?
Yeah. Like you move around, they roll up on you.
What kind of hotel? Man, I don't know. Like, what do you got? Hey, I know it's first year marriage. That's too much information here right now. I get what's going on there. Like, geez.
That's just an observation. Jasper and Sweets, get some fitted sheets. Come on.
Hey guys, I got scratch tickets and a colander. I didn't win anything on the tickets, and the colander's too big to store anywhere in the kitchen. From Neighborhood Plumber. Colander. Oh God. Hey guys, my wife used to complain about having 4 remotes to watch her. I got her a universal remote one Christmas. Not a good move from RP. Well, why though? Hey, if you complain about something all year and then the person remembers that's really bothering you, and then you go and get him the gift, you should be happy about it. RP, I think I would say that's a pass on yours, and I would say that's a fail on the receiver of the gift.
Jasmine's response, you got to read that.
No, I didn't want them. It was a surprise because he likes the outdoors and swimming. I'd prefer a designer bag. Oh my God. That is so awesome though. Or maybe he just wanted to see you in a bikini though. So, there's nothing wrong with that. Oh my God. That's awesome though. Didn't want the swimming lessons. He likes the outdoors and learning how to swim. That's a big step up. Like, it's like, okay, I just want to learn to swim in a pool. And then you got to go to the river or the lake. It's the next level, man. Oh, that is unbelievable. Hey, guys, my buddy got his girlfriend a coat rack. She have a lot of coats? Oof. Now, do you have a coat rack in your house? I don't. I just have like a front end, back end closet. And then we have like a, nowadays in our back entrance, I have like a little stall.
My parents have one. We do not have one.
No. Yeah. I don't know. I was never a fan of the coat rack. I don't really like it. Not going to lie. Oh, man. Hey, guys, no joke, man. 5th anniversary. Bought my wife a microwave. We got divorced before our 6th. Now, I shouldn't laugh. Just the way it was written made me laugh, Doug. It's good to have a sense of humor. I'm going to go on a limb here and say the microwave. Now, that might have been the final straw, but there might have been a few other things. I would hope that you're not getting divorced over a microwave, but that is funny. 5th anniversary gift microwave. Divorced before the 6th. I shouldn't laugh. Divorce is pretty, I know for some people it ends up being a good thing, but at the time it's never fun. I would assume. I've never been through it, but it's probably not the best.
One from Dex is good too. I don't know if you saw that.
Well, you read it. I can't get through every
my grandpa got my grandma a 270 Winchester rifle for their anniversary. Said he was going to take her elk hunting. She doesn't even like the outdoors to this day. She still complains about it. The guy's been dead for 10 years. Dex.
Buying your wife a rifle, basically, because that's the gift that's for you that you big to somebody else, right? That's a classic move, right? Somebody's done that. You've probably done it. Oh, yeah, no. I'm going to buy it for this because we're going to share time. But really, it's just so, I can go hunting more. It's like buying your wife a set of golf clubs. She doesn't even golf. You're just hoping that maybe she will so you can golf more. Oh, God, there's some classics out there from the listeners today. The thing about a vacuum is, though, if you buy a vacuum for an anniversary gift, it better be a really good vacuum. Because if it's a vacuum that doesn't suck very well, then guess what? That is even suck your gift. You know that for sure. Hey, guys, I was given for my 30th anniversary an Oilers jersey with my last name on the back with the worst font, totally off of the style at the time. The look on my face of joy to utter disappointment when I looked at the back from Justin. Yeah, so that's kind of like no one really puts their own last name on the jersey, right? Which I would be fine if someone did it. But I could see maybe why you wouldn't want that. Right? You'd be like, hey.
If I'm 5, like, cool. If I'm older than 18, and that might be being generous, I think getting your own name on a jersey is kind of lame.
Yeah. I wonder how many people out there. Like, I'm trying to think the last time I saw somebody at a game with their last name on the jersey. I'd be curious. Like Gregor, a lot of people must think their name's Strudwick because no one can believe he played in the league. Hey now. It's a funny joke though, but we'll tell the jokes on the show. Even though I read it, of course, just to chirp him. I love it. When we come back, we'll talk to Wanye and more on the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Let's get to the Con Man of Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. Hey, if it's your anniversary, think about it. What about a set of summer tires? Not bad. You can get a set of 4, $200 off right now, including Goodyear's at fountaintire.com.
Game day finally here. Oilers and Stars. Game 3 down at Rogers Place. Puck drop a little closer to 6:40 for the Oilers. Adam Henrique draws into the lineup. Ryan McLeod coming on out for the Stars. Rupe Hens listed as a game time decision. Elliot Friedman is reporting that Dan Bylsma is the choice in Seattle to be the team's next head coach. He last coached in the NHL in 2016-17 with the Buffalo Sabres. Won a Stanley Cup with the Penguins in 2009. He's currently the head coach of the Coachella Valley Firebirds, the Kraken's AHL affiliate. In the association, the Celtics taking on the Pacers just after 6. Boston with a chance to complete the sweep, currently leading 3-0. Some sad news off the court. Bill Walton, the Hall of Fame center and 2-time NBA champion, passed away at the age of 71 after a battle with cancer. In the majors earlier today, Toronto Blue Jays victorious. They knocked off the White Sox 5-1. Twins over the Royals 6-5, and the Orioles dropped the Red Sox 11-3. Dodgers and Mets postponed due to weather in the New York area. Games going on right now. Cubs Brewers still scoreless in the 7th, and the 4th, the Guardians and Rockies tied at 4. Reds lead the Cardinals 3-1 in the top of the 6th, and the Nationals up on the Braves 6-0. It's early, but in the 2nd, the Giants lead the Phillies 2-0. Still to come tonight, Padres, Marlins, and the Astros are in Seattle. In the Memorial Cup, the 1-0 London Knights take on the 0-1 Moose Jaw Warriors. Puck drop set for 5:30 for that one. And at the French Open, good day for the Canadians. Felix Auger-Aliassime, Denis Shapovalov, Bianca Andreescu, and Leila Annie Fernandez all victorious. Coming up in Hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Oilers Nation's Wanye Gretz, Andy Petrillo from CBC Sports, and we'll ask 5 questions. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Stingray radio station. CHJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
This spring, experience innovation on the road at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Right now, lease from 0.99% or save up to $4,000 on select models for qualifying loyal Volvo Cars Edmonton customers. Plus, save $5,000 on all new and demo 2024 XT60 Recharge plug-in hybrid models. Discover why we're Canada's only 13-time Volvo Excellence Award winner. Chat online at volvocarsedmonton.com or visit 1205 101st Street Southwest.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions take 1 for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Zach Hyman. Are you ready, guys?
We were born ready. Heck yes, Nuge. Drop the beat. Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Which you will, so you can golf more.
We freaking killed it, Nuge. That's what I'm talking about. Zachary Martin Hyman.
Nice guys. We're going to sell a lot of air conditioners.
Hey, doesn't Legacy offer no payments
really?
and no interest for a year on those?
Yeah. Well, thanks for the assist on the copy points there, Nuge.
It's just what I do.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Introducing the Female Super League. Female hockey is on the rise with more women playing the game than ever. Join us as we pave the way for the future of women's hockey. The FSL is more than a game. It's a movement and an experience for the motivated female athlete. Teams will compete in a showcase-style format featuring consistent interprovincial competition. Come be part of the journey as the 2024-25 season unveils a 12U division, as well as the launch of a groundbreaking progressive body-checking 14U division. For more information, visit FemaleSuperLeague.com.
We've finished construction of our gamma radiation containment facility. Is it up to code? Is it going to be safe?
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
testing team reporting. We test your commercial operations using tools like infrared to ensure safe operation. Trust us to prevent potential calamity before it strikes.
Facing an electrical menace? Call the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
Try the new extra-large New York-style crispy pepperoni pizza only from Papa John's. Get you some of that crispy, curly, cuppy pepperoni on top of an extra-large New York-style crust pizza with creamy tomato sauce and a 3-cheese blend. This ain't around forever, so walk fast like you're in NYC and order one now. The extra-large New York-style crispy pepperoni pizza for just $22.99, only at Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza, better get you some.
Thinking of building a garden suite above your detached garage for aging loved ones? Make a RAM elevator part of that plan. RAM Elevators and Lifts understands that an elevator is more than a mechanical device. It's accessibility and safety, and it's an easy addition that can be added in a space as small as 3.5 by 4 feet with standard 8-foot ceilings. North American made and rated as the best residential elevators by Forbes magazine. Grounded simplicity, elevated design. Click on trustram.com.
Vision Credit Union is proud to serve rural Albertan entrepreneurs, business owners like Steve and Haley, who own Blue Jay Storage in Camrose. Their company offers secure self-storage options ranging from closet-sized units to RV parking pads. To make things convenient for customers, Blue Jay's gates are open 15 hours a day, 7 days a week. Way to get down to business, you two. Looking for financial services to help your company get down to business? Learn more at visioncu.ca.
It's time to embrace the drive with Chevrolet. Lease the 2024 Equinox RS from $190 bi-weekly. That's like $95 weekly at 6.9% for 60 months with $3,400 down on an ultra-low kilometer lease. With Equinox's standard Chevrolet Safety Assist, standard power liftgate, available panoramic sunroof, and available adaptive cruise control, you'll have everything you need and more to make this the best season ever. Visit your local Chevrolet dealer for details.
Turn the music up in the headphones. Tim, you can go and brush your shoulder off. I got you. Yeah, if you feeling like a pimp, nigga, go and brush your shoulders off. Ladies is pimps too, go and brush your shoulders off. You get some crazy, baby, don't forget that boy told you get. Turn up your shoulders, probably owe it to y'all. Probably be locked by the force, trying to hustle some things. That go with the push, feeling no remorse, feeling like my hand was false. Middle finger to the Lord, grip him.
Thursday afternoon. How are you? Jason Gregor, Connor Halley. It is the Gregor Show, as always presented by PlayAlberta.ca, where you can get in the game. And hey, if you've been sitting on the edge, you're waiting. Maybe your heart rate's going from 58 to 119. You need to calm down during the game. Use the promo code Gregor50, Gregor50, and you'll get a free $50 wager. Orders at home tonight. Never know. We'll see. Maybe a Connor McDavid home goal, his first of the playoffs. Someone could argue that he's due. 6 consecutive games without a goal. That's only ever happened twice in his career. Once in January of 2018, once in February of 2022. So 6 home games, 12 points though, no goals. So he, I get a sense on Ben Stelter's birthday that Connor McDavid might score a home goal tonight. We shall see. We shall see. So we welcome in to the program from ordersnation.com. Wanye Gretz joins us. What's happening?
I feel good. Feel good. Feel up. Conference finals is the closest we've been since 2006, Gregor. There's nothing but good vibes over here.
What are your now? I noticed like it's hot outside.
Yeah,
and you're wearing a jersey. I noticed lots of I saw a guy walking down because I'm like I don't like being hot. And so I noticed guys walking down the street today wearing the jersey. And I'm like, I respect it, but I'm always like, God, it's got to be hot.
You know who's hot? Connor McDavid is hot. Leon Draisaitl's hot. It's the least I can do to wear a jersey around and be hot like they're hot.
All right. Okay. But so you don't find it hot?
It's of no importance. I'm in Mamba mode. Mamba mentality, Gregor. You got to win.
Okay. So
You get the jersey on.
You're just blocking out the heat.
That's it.
Right. That's your sacrifice. You're so focused that you're like, you know what? I don't even know it's hot out.
Every morning I look at the jerseys in my closet, and I'm fortunate I have several, and I think, which one should I wear today? Because I have to wear a jersey on every playoff game day. That's the rule.
Okay.
And
How many jerseys do you have?
20. They're about
20 different Oilers jerseys?
Probably, yeah, I would say. Big Oilers fan, Gregor. Started a website once.
Yeah. Like which one? Which one is your favorite? Like, do you have a favorite?
Well, this one's a good Connor one. I was telling Connor before the show, because this is the first Connor McDavid Oilers jersey. Before he got drafted, I called around. Bag Milk helped me out, and we really harangued a local place. And they're like, we're not allowed to make Connor McDavid jerseys. And we're like, well, we need this. We're Oilers Nation. We need it for his draft party. And then as they got to agreeing to that, then we said we wanted the Captain C put on it. And the guy's like, I can't under any circumstances. And yet here it is, and on my arms and torso. So they got the job done. But I have a Reed Schaefer jersey that I got made after he got traded with his training camp number on it. And I want to wear it so bad. But I'm scared if I wear it and the Oilers lose. I'm like, are you even taking this seriously, Wanye? You've got fictional Oilers here. They haven't even played for the team. You got a jersey made up. Is that the playoff Mamba mentality?
Yeah. Well, or someone could argue that Reed Schaefer helped them get Oscar. I mean, not Oscar.
Ekholm.
Yes.
He played his role.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I've also got a Yakupov 6'4", Gregor. I don't know if you remember at the old arena, the delicious roast beef sandwich they used to have in the second floor of the arena. You remember the sandwich?
Uh-huh.
The last time I ate the sandwich blobbed on my Yakupov jersey on the Oilers logo, and I said to myself, perfect. It encapsulates the sandwich. So I haven't cleaned any of the jerseys. This jersey hasn't been cleaned since Connor got drafted. And I've got the Yakupov
no wonder
meat
it
blob.
reeks in here.
It doesn't reek in here.
It kind of reeks
It
in
doesn't.
here. I was just like, holy cow, buddy. It's a little fresh.
It's been aired out.
It's a little fresh. Well, but has it though?
It has.
Is there moss growing in it?
There's nothing. No, but there's a few blobs of various. There's sourpuss shooter on the 6'4" Yakupov as well.
Okay. Yakupov 6'4". Oh my goodness.
Can't wear that in the playoffs though. It's not a joke, the playoffs.
Well, no, it's not. Well, yeah, you should only wear players who played in the playoffs.
In the playoffs.
That's
why I go with the Connor.
I would say that.
Got a Gretzky.
Yeah, you must have a Smith.
Got a Smith. Got a Gretzky. Yeah. Got
Everly?
a Comrie.
Everly?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I got an Everly.
Uh-huh.
Went wire to wire in that thing, too.
Now, if the Oilers won the cup and you had to get a new jersey, who would you get?
The cup scoring Oiler.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Cody Ceci scoring the other night. We were joking around on Twitter that
Which
whoever...
goal? Cody Ceci's on fire.
Fair enough. The Game 7. We said whoever scores the winner in Game 7 will be our new best friend. Mr. Game 7 stepped up again.
Well, he didn't score the winner. He ended up because remember that Vancouver did score. So
yes,
the winner, but it was the first goal again. Both Game 7s he has scored. He did score the winner against LA, and then scored again. And he's I think he's the only Oiler defenseman in franchise history to have 2 overtime goals.
Mr. Game 7.
Yeah, why not? Cody Ceci. So you always need a few guys that no one expects to do anything offensively, and that was him. What's your thoughts on the Henrique McLeod trade?
Trade
in the lineup.
I see. Well, I think it's fine. I think they're both going to play their roles. I think Henrique's very good looking. That's key. This far into a playoff run, you want the best looking Oilers in the lineup, as long as you can have them in the lineup. I have a question though, Gregor. Do you think on the night the Oilers win the Stanley Cup, is there a brief window where everybody has diplomatic immunity, where you could like shoot fireworks in the sky, not go to jail, or like drive a jet boat through a convenience store window or something and not get in trouble?
Well, maybe you should try it. Let us know.
I'm thinking of shooting fireworks off.
Well, let's not promote stupidity on the show, just because we've seen there's the odd person. But shooting fireworks
off the bridge, would I go to jail for the rest of my life?
Well, not the rest of your life, but you might go into the dumb tank for a night.
What if I was to get away? Like, could you shoot fireworks off the Walter Dale Bridge and then run off into the Edmonton night, or would you get caught, you think?
Well, give me 100, Alex, for things I've never thought of. Could I run off?
Everyone's honking. They've got the whole thing going. Everybody's pumping their cars. It's traffic in every direction. And I'm shooting fireworks off the Walter Dale. Ugh.
Well, but you don't hold. Okay, I like how you're having a gun, like you're shooting.
A donaire gun.
Have you ever actually? It sounds to me like you've never actually put like you've never actually set off fireworks?
I have not.
Yeah. Okay. So number one, you don't hold them.
It's not a donair gun?
No, you don't hold them and shoot them.
Okay.
Right? You would put them down in like a can or a canister, then you light it, and then you walk away and it's like, psh, it shoots up. So it's not actually in your hand. So could you, in theory, set it up and then, have it, maybe it's got a longer fuse? You probably could, but someone's going to know it was you. That's all I'm.
Well, I just confessed to it on live radio.
Yeah. So, I don't, could you get away with it? Probably, well, I don't know. That's a good question.
I drive by Remax Field all the time.
Yeah.
I can see a sign for a fireworks place as I drive by,
Mhm.
and it calls to me. It says, Wanye, one day we're going to win the Stanley Cup, and you need to go to this fireworks store, and you need to buy at least $1,000 worth of fireworks and shoot them into the sky.
See, like we've set off fireworks at our family reunion numerous times.
Really?
Yeah, but that's not inside. It's not in town, right? So they're not illegal. You sell them. It's just certain places you can't set them off.
I can't imagine that they want me to set them
Yeah,
off for
like
Walter Day.
now somebody in town, any of our police officers, Grant, anyone else, somebody else might know the rule on setting fireworks off in residential area. What's the ruling on that? Because I've only ever set fireworks off out at our farm, out at my other friend's farm on New Year's. So Canada Day, not New Year's. And that's the only time I can think of. Like, obviously, I've seen them lots, right? Like, City of Edmonton's had theirs, Canada Day, and Leduc and Beaumont and St. Albert, whatever. But I don't recall. I'm sure somebody set them off, but I have to think that you just can't set off fireworks in your own backyard. There's got to be some stipulation against that.
I don't want to shoot them off in my backyard, for the record. I live beside Remax Field, and the amount of times that the baseball teams of throughout the years do firework displays,
Yeah.
it is terrifying.
Yeah, but they do it right there. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's loud as heck, and it's late at night.
Oh, pumpkin.
Oh, no. You don't understand. It sounds like I'm like in a live war zone, the amount of crackle popping going on.
They're good. They're good fireworks. I will say that.
They do a good show.
They do not spare any expense.
You wouldn't mind if the Gregor residence was next to a firework display 23 times a summer?
Well, here's the question. You bought a house by a baseball diamond.
I did.
Are you not expecting there to be festivities there?
When I bought my house, the Cracker Cats were the team, and the attendance, there was more people in my house most days than there were at the baseball stadium.
Yes, sure.
But the baseball stadium has since grown into a new team.
Yes, but the point was, the Trappers used to be there, and they had good crowds.
But that was long gone when I moved.
Well, all I'm saying is, if you purchase a house, it's like complaining about the train is too loud when you live by the train
But
track.
this is why I think I should be allowed to shoot fireworks into the night, Gregor, is that I'm constantly having my life interrupted by fireworks.
Thinks these are different things.
Now it's me with the fireworks. Oilers fireworks.
I don't know. We could try it, but somebody out there, I got to get the text line. Somebody's going to let me know on what's the rule.
I forgot police officers were listening to this station. I'll be honest with you. I thought they had better things to listen to, crime reports, that sort of thing.
Hey guys, come to the north side after Ramadan. My dog loses about 10 pounds of fur every year. From Steven, saying that they have the firework. Hey, you know what? I would celebrate getting through that too, man. I don't know how they do it. Good for them. Like, I'm a hangry guy. I can't handle not eating. Like, I guess I'm sure you could do it. People do it, but I would.
Fireworks at the end of Ramadan.
Oh yeah, that's what he's saying. It's a
I
big
could claim that
celebration.
was me too. I get pulled over on foot.
Oh yeah, you're going to claim that you're celebrating Ramadan. You know that it's not Ramadan.
I'll be like, Ramadan just ended, and they'll say, "Sir, you're wearing an Oilers jersey."
Yeah. Oh. Hey guys, we would shoot fireworks at houses many years ago. Roman candle, you can shoot while holding.
See, like a donair gun.
Bach, don't give him any ideas. Let's be real here. Like, you'd be too scared to hold a firework. Yeah, you're laughing because you know it's true.
Scared is the right word.
Hey, just a true story for anybody out there in the United States. I think it is. Well, I know there's 10,000 injuries from fireworks every year in the U.S.
Every year.
Like people losing fingers. Yeah. I remember reading that stat one day and I was just like, oh my goodness.
You know why that won't happen to me when the Oilers win the cup? Because I'll be drunk.
Yeah. So 61% of them are burns, followed by eye injury second at 19%. And, I say that because I was at a fire. I met in grade 11. Alan McCullough. I'll never forget the place at Alan McCullough at and so he was having a party and, was having a big fire out. And I'm just sitting, minding my own business. And some idiot throws a firecracker into the fire, sparks, lots more, boom, one went right in my eye.
No way.
Yeah. So that's why I got glasses in high school.
Is that true?
Yeah. I have a burn on my, like if you look at my eye and from the 6 to the 9 on the clock, that's where it got burned. So like my eye's burning, dude. Like that's easily the worst pain I've ever had in my life. And so now we drive into the Grey Nuns Hospital, right? Now, had I had a few beers? Yeah, probably thankfully.
Probably helpfully.
Anyway, so we get into the hospital, right? They run you in, you got your eye out, whatever. And thankfully back then, there wasn't this waiting line, didn't seem to be as long. And I don't remember waiting that long. So anyway, I get in there and they're looking at the stuff. So they'd pour this green dye into my eye. And then they're like, okay, you got to open your eye so you could see. Well, then I could finally open my eye. And while my good eye, I could see my other eye. I couldn't really see through the other eye. But it had like, in the movies when they see the people with the green eyes, that's all I remember thinking. I was like, oh, yeah, look how cool my eye looks. But yeah. And so I didn't tell my parents because, I know why, stupid and you're dumb. And all of a sudden, so that's in the summer going into, I'm 16, so going into grade 11. And now like halfway through grade 11, I'm sitting in the class and all of a sudden I'm like, God, I can't see the chalkboard. What the hell's going on? And so I finally go to the eye doctor and he's like, dude, you got like a big scar in your eye. What happened? So I then explained the story. And he's like, well, that was like 6 months ago. And so what had happened was my other eye was trying to compensate because, the vision. So then I got, so now I have glasses.
So you came home with that kind of trauma to your eye? And
no,
your
my parents were gone. My cousin John, I remember it because they went to a wedding.
You had a few days to recover.
Yeah, they were gone. So that happened on a Friday night. And the eye is the fastest healing part of your body.
You've been raised right when you're more scared of your parents being mad at you than you are the eye injury you've suffered.
And even though I did nothing wrong, like in hindsight, I was like, I just should have told my parents. But by the Monday, my eye didn't really bug me anymore. Like it was like it still like I noticed it. It was kind of like a little blurry for a bit. Like it's probably blurry for 3 days. Then it kind of went away. So I was like, well, it's nothing.
Went away, but you needed glasses for the rest of your life.
Well, I figured that out 6 months later. Yeah. But at the time, because I was like, well, because you didn't really notice it right away. Right? I had good vision till then. I still have decent vision, but yeah.
If I ever get a Jason Gregor,
so that's my tip to kids. Just don't throw the firecracker in the fire. That's all I would ask.
That's Jason Gregor Final Jeopardy edition, though. Why did Gregor need glasses? I'll come through and be like, because he took a firework to the head.
Yeah. Well, no, it's spark in the eye. It's not good. But I will say that because my friend had like an old Dodge Dart, and that might have been the fastest that thing ever drove down 50th Street to get to Grey Nuns. Quick break. Andy Petrillo will join us next. By the way, Oilers, Adam Henrique is in. Ryan McLeod is out. Rupe Hintz has taken the warm-up. He left the morning skate or didn't stay out late, which is usually a sign that a guy's going to play. He hasn't taken the morning skate. He didn't leave early at any other morning skate in the playoffs since he's been out. He hasn't taken a warm-up. Rupe Hintz is on the ice in warm-up. If you're at the rink, that means he's playing. Quick break. We'll return to the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
The playoffs are wild. We all know that. And this year, Play Alberta is making it even wilder. Make a deposit with promo code Gregor50 to snag a $50 free sports bet with your next deposit. Get ready for unbeatable promotions throughout the playoffs with 10+ odds boost on every Oilers playoff game. Score a chance to win a pair of lower bowl or even exclusive sweet tickets for an Oilers playoff game just by making a bet on an Oilers playoff game at PlayAlberta.ca. Bonus terms and conditions apply.
I'm Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. And I'm Zach Hyman. And when we're not making juicy, sweet passes or having my goals disallowed, we're working for Legacy Heating and Cooling. Guys used to call me a plumber. And now they call you an AC repairman. Nice.
Hey, guys, you're not here to fix air conditioners. You're here to sing the jingle.
Oh.
Well.
Okay. Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
No payments and no interest for 1 year from qualified installers. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Experience more at the Edmonton Expo Center. Come for Canada's largest trade show, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. Stay for the experience. But it doesn't end there. Maximize your brand exposure with Edmonton Expo Center's new cutting-edge feature screens, spanning Western Canada's largest venue space. Captivate an annual audience of over 1 million visitors during iconic events like Pro Rodeo, Disney on Ice, Glow, K-Days, and so much more. To learn more, call 780-660-0514 or visit EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
Heavy hauling in the worst of climates can be dreadful. Take the stress off the job with AccuSteel Heavy Haul Trailers. They redefine heavy hauling with premium heavy haul trailers designed, manufactured, and battle tested in the harshest of conditions. And if your heavy haul trailer has issues, their full service and frame inspections will tell you exactly what's wrong and why. They take the guessing out of repair work with quality engineered frame repairs that get you back working quick. Discover the difference at AccuSteel.ca.
Postseason is always exciting for hockey fans, but for GS, it's all about construction season. For 50 years, GS Construction has been laying the groundwork for your community, but they can't do it without the best team possible. GS Construction is scouting for experienced and motivated laborers, pipe layers or pipe layers helpers, lead hands, operators, top men or women, and a water and sewer foreman. Apply today and start working for the 2024 construction season. Visit gsconstruction.ca today.
Your love for strawberries is very passionate, you say. Just wait till you get your next taste of Booster Juice. The new Strawberry Blush smoothie made with strawberries, bananas, vanilla oat, and vanilla frozen yogurt will make you fall in love. And there's no tea like the Strawberry Serenity Teaser, a blend of strawberry juice, green tea, and honey. And for a tasty treat to pair perfectly with your berry obsession, the Strawberries and Cream Booster Ball has returned like your favorite dream. Visit a Booster Juice near you today or download the Booster Rewards app.
This spring, the savings continue at The Brick. Take up to 40% off furniture and mattresses, as well as the chance to scratch and save up to an additional 40% off your purchase. Plus, you'll have the chance to win great prizes, including a $10,000 Brick shopping spree. Find amazing deals on kitchen appliances and save up to $400 on sofas so you can prepare your ultimate game day snacks and then watch the game in style. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Oh man, this is old school, Cons. Woo-hoo. Oh, I like it. Was this requested by our next guest? Oof, that'd be sweet. Well, Scorpions, man. That was old. You probably don't even know that song, do you?
What are you remembering right now? The smile on your face right now. I'm imagining you imagining yourself with a.
Oh, buddy, the Scorpions. That is a great old school tune. I love it. I haven't heard that in a long time, Cons. Fantastic. We'll see if did our next guest request it. Now I need to know. As we're going to go to the our footy report brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, home of the no payments, no interest for 1 full year in your AC unit. Don't wait until you're sweating too much. Get it now. Plan ahead. No payments for a year at legacyheating.ca. As Andy Petrillo from One Soccer and CBC Sports joins us. Andy, was that your request for the Scorpions?
Okay, that was, first of all, I apologize for my voice. I'm just getting over something. I did not smoke a pack of cigarettes. So this is me getting over something. You actually brought me back in time because I used to cover a team called the Newmarket Hurricanes Junior B. And that was their song all the time when they would take to the ice for warm-up was Rock You Like a Hurricane. So you just brought me back to like my Junior B hockey days, coldest rink in the world. May or may not have put a little Baileys in my hot chocolate to stay warm while I covered that game. Yeah. But I know that song well. Well.
It's a great song. I like it. Let's get into it. Well, we were talking earlier just about fireworks and stuff, and in Mexico they love their fireworks. There's no question about that. Canadian women are going to have some friendlies versus the Mexicans, of course, because now we're leading up. We're getting closer. We're only a few months away from the Summer Olympics and soccer, and obviously Canada is going to come in as one of the top favorites, I would think. as a defending champ for sure. I know the roster is different, and Christine Sinclair's not here, and a few others. But what do you make of this, and what are you looking for in these friendlies? Because now, as we get to the final few months here, like this is kind of crunch time a little bit.
It really is. And yeah, I was listening to that conversation. The guys in my high school used to do the exact same thing. I thought, what is wrong with you? They would wear like the holes in their shirts and the burns on their skin with so much pride. Shoot fireworks at each other. I'm like, why would you ever do that? What is that? That's got to be a boy thing. Girls, we're too sane for that. We're just like, that's a no. That is a hard no, especially if you light our hair on fire. What's wrong with you? But this is crunch time because, you know, as you mentioned, Bev Priestman has to have her roster named by July 3rd. Their first game is July 25th at the Olympics. And like good news, bad news. The good news is that she is having injured players return. We had talked about this a couple weeks ago. Nichelle Prince is back. Jade Revere is back. Olivia Smith, the young player, a real superstar who really stood out in that Gold Cup. She's back. Even though they still do have some injuries with Quinn, that's huge in the midfield. They have a knee injury. Sydney Collins, massive wingback, fractured ankle. She's tight, you know, deadline to maybe make it back. But the reason why I say good news, bad news is even Bev Priestman has said it. She's like, I have all these players now who are coming back from injury, which is, you know, a wider pool to select from. But remember, the Olympics, you can only choose an 18-player roster and 4 alternates. And those alternates are only for emergency injuries only. So she really has to narrow it down. So to your point, these 2 games against Mexico are going to be massive. Who's in form? You know, who's going to fit in a system that she wants to play against the opponents they're going to play against. She is planning on having a camp, I believe, in Spain before they have to head on over to Paris. So they're going to play some behind closed door games as well. Bev is basically going to push it. Like, I wouldn't be surprised, Jason. You know, I think July 3rd, as I said, is the deadline for their roster. I wouldn't be surprised if we see an announcement on July 2nd. She's going to push it to as far as she can go to make sure she names the right roster. So these 2 games here, which they're calling, you know, the send-off series, which is great. The first game is going to be in Montreal. The second game is going to be in Toronto, a proper send-off before they go to Olympics. Fans always love this stuff. They wish they had them before they left for the World Cup. I think this is going to be a ton of fun.
So now switching over to the men, Jesse Marsh just comes in and, you know, he's named his first squad for the upcoming match. What are your initial thoughts of his squad, and kind of does it give you a sense of what to expect from maybe him and what style he wants to play?
Kind of similar to the last lineup that Mauro Biello called up in that one, you know, do or die match against Trinidad and Tobago to qualify for Copa America. So it seems like Jesse Marsh is in line with what Biello was also doing, which then tells me it's what Canada Soccer wants to do. And that is, Jason, go younger. 3 players are 30 or over. So that's Max Kripo, who's 30, Jonathan Osorio, who's right on the nose with 30 as well, and Junior Hoylett gets the call back in at 33. But you're basically looking at 14 players who are 25 years of age or younger. So once again, there's no Milan Borjan, there's no Steven Vittoria. We already know that Atiba Hutchinson has retired. There's no Lucas Cavallini up front. There's no Mark Anthony Kay. So it looks like we're going to be seeing, you know, some of these younger players like a Jacob Schaffelberg getting called in once again, a Matthew Chouanière. So I'm really curious to just see, like, you know, they're finally turning the tide here a little bit, turning the page, seeing what these younger players can bring. Having said that, a little surprised Ali Ahmed of Vancouver Whitecaps is not in this roster, although Jesse Marsh made it clear that what you're seeing for these 2 friendlies against France and the Netherlands isn't exactly going to be the roster that he'll use for Copa America. There's still room for growth here. He also mentioned that, you know, the reason why he's named a lot of European-based players on this Canadian roster is he took into consideration travel. A lot of these MLS players in particular, you know, whether they're continuing to play in CONCACAF Champions Cup. He wanted to see what I guess some European-based players could really offer, but he said that doesn't close the door on any other MLS players that can come in as well and be a part of this team for Copa America. But there's definitely a youth movement. There's definitely a changing of the guard. So I think time will only tell once he gets in, though, Jason, who is his new leadership group now, right? Who are going to be the guys he relies on. But we are definitely seeing some new faces, and then some other faces that maybe got a call up once or twice, but seem to have caught the eye of Jesse Marsh already.
I'm wondering what you're thinking about Messi in Vancouver and the frenzy that was going on around him.
Well, I know in a few years' time, we're going to have a book come out on Messi the same way we did with David Beckham, the David Beckham experiment, because it might be too harsh and unfair of me to say that I don't think Messi's growing the game, because obviously David Beckham has come and gone. So we could see the effect of Beckham. We could see that the designated player rule came in because of him. We could see that a lot of other European superstars, while in their twilight days, came on over to play in MLS because of David Beckham. And we can go through some other things. We're still in the thick of the Messi frenzy, but I think that's exactly what it is. It's the Messi frenzy. And is that his fault? No. Fans want to come out and watch him and love him. Yeah. Is it MLS's fault? That's what's to be debated here a little bit. And is it the fans' fault? That's what's also to be debated. And I guess what I mean, so if anyone is kind of new to this, obviously he was supposed to, Inter Miami played in Vancouver this past weekend. Ticket sales, once again, through the roof. Vancouver put on like a street party, everything, all in the anticipation of him coming. Not only were they dealt a blow, not only did he not even travel with the team, but neither did Luis Suarez or Busquets. So the other two players who are top players, they didn't even make the journey. No. Now, to a lot of soccer aficionados out there, they're going to be like, well, get used to it. Vancouver still plays on turf. Typically, big name players don't like playing in Vancouver. Anyway, okay, fine. But I guess the reason why I say it's still up for debate whether or not MLS is to blame is because MLS is kind of stitching up their teams. Like, Vancouver, once again, just like Chicago last year, like they're issuing apologies, guys. They're issuing apologies. They're issuing not so much refunds, but discounts for next year's games. Or Vancouver, in this sense, offered like 50% off all the food and vending, and kids under the age of whatever got to eat for free. And it's like, be careful the precedent you're setting here. We all work in sports. We've worked in it for years. Anything can happen. Injuries happen. Rest happens. And when you're starting to set this precedent that teams now need to issue apologies, or teams now need to issue some sort of discounts because someone didn't show up, I think that's a pretty slippery slope. So I think MLS has to be careful. And then the other reason why I say, well, I guess sometimes it's the fans' fault. Listen, if you're willing to pay that amount for a ticket, knowing full well how the world of sports works, which is a player's not guaranteed, then that's also your fault, right? Like, you're setting the market. But I am a little miffed that they didn't make the trip, though, guys. Like, if you're not going to play them, that's fine. What does it take? Sit on a plane, comfy, wave at the fans. Will that appease them a little bit? Maybe just a little bit. Obviously, they want to see you play. But I think MLS has created a circus here. I mean, Messi has his own tab on the MLS website, for crying out loud. Like, I fully believe the Apple deal wouldn't have gone through if there wasn't some sort of behind closed doors promise that, we are signing Messi. So, like, they've created this circus, and I think they have to tame it a little bit because it is getting a little bonkers.
What do you make about the CPL teams beating MLS?
Huge. Absolutely huge. We've seen it in the past. Only two other teams have done it before. Cavalry did it in the first year that CPL teams started competing in the Canadian Championship, when they beat Vancouver in 2019. Then a few years later, we saw Pacific do the exact same thing, when they beat Vancouver. But now it really feels like this could become a regular thing, guys, because Cavalry once again beat Vancouver, but because it was a home and away, they lost on aggregate. And that's what prompted Vanni Sartini to come on out and say, we should have gone to penalty kicks. He apologized to the fans. He's like, Cavalry deserved better. This was actually tied 2-2, which it was tied 2-2 on aggregate, but Vancouver gets to go through based on the away goal. So Cavalry beat them, though, fair and square, 1-0 in that game too. And then Forge came out flying despite that ridiculous weather delay. I fell asleep in studio, started playing charades. But they beat Montreal fair and square. And so they actually do get to move on because the game one was tied 1-1. And I'm not going to sit here and make this grand declaration that the gap is closing between CPL and MLS teams. I still think they have a long way to go. But if we're going to talk about it in the Canadian context, I do think CPL is growing.
Yeah.
And I do think they're making their mark. And then just to go full circle with our conversation, Jesse Marsh, part of his media junket today, flat out said that he's been watching CPL. He uses it as a scouting ground. And in fact, he wants to be able to make it out to games in person, which I think is very uplifting, because I think given everything that's been going on with labor disputes, it almost feels like there's been a disconnect sometimes too with Canada Soccer and the CPL. So I think it's really nice when the head coach of the men's national team says, I want to make it out live and in person to CPL games. So I think it just goes to show the growth of the league, and more than anything, how competitive the Canadian Championship is also becoming, more than anything, right? Like, I'm not going to sit here and talk about put a CPL team against, Inter Miami or LAFC. Like, I'm not going to go and do that, guys. But from a Canadian Championship point of view, I think they are gaining on the Canadian teams. But this year, time still has to tell. I mean, we've only ever had MLS teams win the Canadian Championship, right? So we'll see what this year brings.
Lastly, Andy, Craig Berube wanted to ask you about what are your thoughts on Craig Berube in Toronto? And is that, when you look at his style, what he talked about in his press conference, all the type of players he wants on his team, do you think this is going to be a significant offseason in regards to change for the Maple Leafs?
I think it has to be. The latest news making its rounds in Toronto today is that, there was that photo snapped of him at a coffee shop with Mitch Marner, that was circulating. And a lot of people, are believing that if he's sitting down and with Mitch Marner and doing so publicly, like, is that also a way, even whatever the conspiracy theorists aren't about, Jason, right? Like, they could have met privately, but they didn't. They met publicly, and you had to know your photo was going to be taken. And is that sending a message that Marner's part of the future plans? But I guess in many ways, he has to be, because a lot of these players have power. They're under contract. They have no trade. And as much as I think fans wanted to see a lot of change, I think Craig Berube is going to be working with a lot of what the Leafs have already had. We've said this before. The coach is the easiest position to change, not the players. So I think they're going to have to buy in, whether they like it or not. And, this is somebody with pedigree. This is somebody who's won. And I think, you could say, well, that was the case for Mike Babcock too. But I think with Mike Babcock, these guys were all entering the league for the first time. And I think they're completely different now. I think they're a little weather worn. They're, these are players who I think are at a different point in their careers as well. So I think Craig Berube has to get the best out of them, Jason. Like, he has to. Or I think now you're starting to look at, dare I say, Brendan Shanahan. Like, now you're just starting to go above. Because if you can't move the players, like, you really have to change all the thinking up above when those contracts are up and you have to make moves. But I think there's some excitement around here, but there's also a little bit of, but are we going to see the same roster? So it's I don't know what to tell you. There's a feeling of meh here. That's it.
Andy, as always, great stuff. We appreciate it. I hope you feel better, and we will chat with you next week.
Yes, thank chamomile tea now. Okay, bye, guys.
There you go. That's Annie Petrell. I should have told her. I'll text her. Cayenne pepper. Gargle with it. It is a must do when you got a sore throat. It works perfectly every time. We'll come back. We got 5 questions. Kevin Woodley. We'll get into more of the scouting. It's been 2 games. What have we seen on that overtime winner? It was exactly what Woodley had outlined as far as Ottinger. What have they seen? Is there anything in the first 2 games that the Oilers could exploit, or vice versa, Dallas? Find out with that and Woodley and more on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. And you can always text us in our eWell inbox, 833-401-1440, your local electrical distributor. And just like you, they are huge Oiler fans. Don't worry. They got the Sports 1440 on TV in the showroom all the time, and they are hyped up and ready to roll. So you need electrical work and talk sports. You can do it at ewell.ca.
Gather around the radio, kiddies, for the best time of day. It's Oodle Noodle time. Listen in this week as your noodle hero battles the barbarous Bobby Burger. Now sing along. You know the word. Oodle Noodle time. Oodle Noodle time. You know what time it is now. Get up and give me your best Oodle Noodle dance. Your best time of day is Oodle Noodle time.
Silent Rides is one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies with state-of-the-art motor coaches,
We provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation. Our seatbelt-equipped buses have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, contact Ted Nakamura at 780-940-0880 or visit silentrides.ca.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Full service provider of heavy haul transportation and rigging at the highest level. Next Gen Transportation.
We're developing new and innovative ways to transport oversized and overweight equipment to remote and challenging locations.
Our Next Gen team leads with a wealth of experience and expertise. But most importantly, we put safety first so everyone gets home safely.
We also take great pride in supporting our local community programs and teams. Good luck to everyone this season and in the year ahead.
Visit nextgentransportation.com.
What's cracking at Cattail? Their men's league. Play 18 holes for 18 weeks on Tuesdays from 2 to 6 p.m. Then complete the day and head to Out of Bounds, recently ranked one of Canada's top 10 in fine dining restaurants. For details, visit cattailcrossing.ca. Hey Edmonton, ready to power up your projects with unbeatable strength and efficiency? Step into Edmonton Kubota, where our massive inventory meets all your needs. From rugged tractors and loaders to nimble mowers and utility vehicles, we've got the machines that work as hard as you do. And guess what? This month, we're rolling out exclusive deals that'll make your heart race faster than our engines. Drive down to Edmonton Kubota or visit edmontonkubota.com to discover how we can boost your efficiency, productivity, and fun. Edmonton Kubota, powering your passion with every turn of the key.
The Adventure Calls event is on at GMC. Get the 2024 Sierra 1500 Elevation at 0% financing for up to 60 months. Plus, eligible Costco members can receive a $1,200 bonus on select trucks. With Sierra's available 5.3-liter V8 engine plus more cargo bed volume than any competitor, you'll have everything you need to take on any project this season, like building a brand new doghouse. That's a lot of wood. How big is this dog? Visit your local GMC dealer for details.
Catch the Edmonton Stingers basketball home opener on June 2nd at the Edmonton Expo Center. Enjoy affordable family fun with a $5 food and drink menu and free parking. Tickets start at just $20. Visit thestingers.ca/tickets.
For a limited time at McDonald's, enjoy the tasty breakfast trio. Your choice of chicken or sausage McMuffin or McGriddles with a hash brown and a small premium roast coffee for $5 plus tax. Available until 11 a.m. at participating McDonald's restaurants. Price excludes delivery.
Experience the future of car shopping at Windermere Chrysler. The floor-to-ceiling windows in our stunning new showroom bathe every sleek model in natural light. But that's not all. While you relax in our customer lounge, peek through the unique viewing window into the service area. Watch our expert team at work, ensuring your vehicle is in top form. Plus, every service appointment includes a complimentary tire and wheel alignment analysis and a full car wash and vacuum.
The choice is clear.
It's Windermere.
Visit windermeredodge.ca.
Welcome to Jungle.
Oh, Cons is if you get the theme of the show today, it's all like your great warm-up songs that people would play in hockey. I'm gonna try to get him to find the one. I don't even remember the name of it. I just remember the musical bed was unreal. So I gotta I'll have to do some searching to find the lyrics. I think I know the lyrics of typical me. I don't know the name of the song, but God, it's awesome. Think about most of you who played at a certain level, and usually you would have a song when you came out to warm up. Like nowadays they do it a little bit younger, but it used to be like, back then it was called midget. Now it's U17, right? Like that. Maybe in bantam, maybe, but that's when you normally start to have the song when you come out for warm up. The music was playing. Oh, some unreal tunes. Like when you think back, most people who played sports, one of their favorite songs will be the song that their team came out to. Guaranteed. Do you have one?
No. When I played, Gregor, we don't have to get into my extensive minor hockey career. It was one good year. I was in Adam Tier 15, and I won Most Improved. So by legal definition, I was the worst Adam player in the universe to start that year.
Okay. Nice.
I remember one time saying to my coach, "Can we play music in the dressing room before the game?" He was like, "No, we don't need to do that." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And that was it, Gregor.
How old are you?
Adam.
Oh, geez.
12.
Pretty serious coach.
Got in late, got out early.
Yeah. Hey, boys, I just tuned in and heard you say cayenne pepper. I take one capsule a day during the winter since the early 90s. I haven't had a serious head cold or stomach flu since, from Shovelhead. Well, I gargle with it, but you know what? I'm all for kind of natural remedies, man. But now, so a capsule of cayenne pepper. So now I'm intrigued. First of all, I didn't even know they made such a thing. Capsule seems like a lot. Like, is that just going to burn my gut?
You gargle with cayenne pepper?
Oh, buddy, it's the greatest cure ever for a sore throat.
What?
Yes. Dude, I've been on the radio for 20 years and knock on wood, never had an issue with my throat. Anytime I start to feel a little bit of a tingle, my wife's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, trust me, gargle." And I'll do it like once an hour for 5 or 6 hours. Kills everything.
How much pepper to how much water?
I put about, I always put warm water, probably half a cup. And I put a little salt first. And then now I know it because I've done it enough, but I always recommend to people, like, start a little bit, gargle, see how I feel, and then you can add more. You want it to be hot, but you obviously don't want it to burn your throat. But it works. It's unreal. I guarantee it for anybody who tries it. You'll feel better.
You're spitting gold today, Gregor.
But you got to do it more, and you can't just do it once and think it's a magic cure. Like I was pretty I would do it 10 gargles each time, and then I do it like every hour on the hour for 5 or 6 hours.
Do you know any magic cures?
No, those are just all natural herbs, buddy.
I see.
Oh. Maybe in a previous life as a medicine person. Who knows? It's sick. Let's get to 5 questions. It would be good. Like that'd be like a cool job. I'd want to do something like that, right? Wouldn't you? Like, hey, you want to throw fireworks? I want to be a medicine person. That would be all right.
I could come to your practice and shoot fireworks just to promote it.
No, thanks. We'll have all natural. Although, you know what? Maybe it'd be good because we'll probably have to cure you.
Fireworks Medical Clinic.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Hey, what about that? I like it. Hey, today is the last day for the huge deal at their fantastic sale prices right now at the Brick. Additional 40% off furniture and mattress purchases today only at the Brick and the Brick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, guys. Question number 1 today. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much of a positive impact does Adam Henrique's return have on the Oilers roster heading into Game 3?
Well, it's got to be positive because right now the third line has been a black hole. You thought the Belanger triangle was where offense went to die? Right now it's the third line. So, yes, you would. They can only go up offensively for the third line.
Dang, Gregor, that's harsh. I think Henrique will have a good impact. I don't think it's a black hole. Eric Belanger did not need to be.
The third line was a black hole, so him coming in is only going to make it better. The third line has no goals in the playoffs.
Invoking Eric Belanger in the conference finals?
I'm just saying. Oh, no, I wouldn't put him in. I'm just saying that this is a good move. Belanger in the playoffs. Did he even play in the playoffs?
I just said you invoked his name. Like you called him into being.
Mm-hmm. No.
Yeah, maybe he'll come sign autographs one of these days. Question number 2. Do you think we see Ryan McLeod appear in this series for the Oilers?
Oh, yes. This guy's not going to be sitting out for 4 games, right? Like he'll be like Stuart Skinner. I could see it being 1 or 2 games.
I agree. Shuffling the lines, get a little energy. He'll be back.
Question number 3. What do you make of the $5,000 fine for Jacob Trouba throwing the elbow?
You know what $5,000 is to Jacob Trouba, Connor?
Nothing.
Nothing to nobody.
Honestly, I'm going to say I thought that was a social media, everybody freaking out. I didn't think that was that bad of a play. He barely touched him. Rodrigue went down. Hey, good, he sold it, but that's That's all that is. It's a fine. It's fine. What did Paul Maurice, by the way, has been a quote machine in this series. What is that? Oh, they're passing the hat. That's what he said. Like, obviously, like a $5,000 fine. Like, hey, you know what? It doesn't mean anything to Jacob Trouba, but it does mean it for the former players because that's where the money goes. So that part's good.
Question number 4 for you guys. Obviously, Canada fell to Sweden yesterday in the bronze medal game at the World Championships. So I know it's not best on best, but is Canada not medaling at the World Championships a failure?
I think that Canada is going to win the cup this year for the first time since 1990. So overall, it's a good year.
93, just to clarify.
Montreal. You're right, Montreal.
I will say, well, yeah, you go to the tournament and you want to get on. Anytime you're not on you don't get a medal. It's a disappointment. Now, does it carry over to anything else? No, it's just a disappointment outcome for them in that tournament. You're one goal away from going to the gold medal, and then you go all the way to not getting anything.
Final question for you guys. On this day in 2022, Top Gun Maverick was released 36 years after the original. So if you could have a sequel made from an 80s movie, which would you choose?
Ooh. Wanye?
Boys on the Bus. They should redo it and get all the same boys on the new bus, Gregor, in 2024.
Well, they probably have better stories. That's a really good question, man. 80s movies. Hard for well, because I just want to preface this by saying it'd be difficult now. So much time has passed that it's rarely would it be good. But I would like to go with because of my age and what I was watching back then. I'm going to go with Goonies. And have another Goonies. I'm not sure how you could do it, but you could take the characters and it could work. So I'll say Goonies. Cons?
Problem with the 80s, like a lot of the good movies, or some of them, they have sequels.
100%.
So it's like you got to kind of find one that hasn't been done. Like they got Mad Max in here. I would like Mad Max. I want to see that new one so bad. I think those movies are so good. What happened at the end of Rain Man? Could we do a sequel there?
For sure.
I still haven't seen the original, so it's hard for me to pick that one. But sure, let's go Rain Man. What's he doing in 2024?
Like Blade Runner 2040, it's Rain Man 2040.
Yeah.
Super old Dustin Hoffman and moderately old Tom Cruise.
It's interesting.
What are they doing?
But the thing about Rain Man is when it first came out, there just wasn't as much of a focus on autism. Now there is. And you could probably have an autistic person play Rain. So that's actually not bad, Cons.
Maybe Big with Tom Hanks.
I never liked it.
It's a great movie.
Declan laughing so hard about that one. But the fact that he's laughing, you really like Big? Oh, I hate that.
Why?
Hate's a strong word. I dislike that.
It was a cool movie. That scene where he was basketballing in his apartment. Baller.
I don't remember that scene.
He got to live.
I know there's nothing memorable about that movie for me.
He got to live like a kid's brain, rich adult.
Yeah,
so he got a basketball hoop in his apartment.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, I understand the concept.
It's amazing.
I just didn't like it. By the way, so last night I went to a movie by myself. Unbelievable. Probably one of the greatest movie experiences ever. Because I realized afterwards, like when you're in the movie and once the movie's on, you don't talk to the person you're with. So why is going to a movie such a big deal by yourself? I went to the Planet of the Apes, the Last Kingdom, Planet of the Apes.
Good.
It was pretty good. Yeah. It was great in the screen, but I went because the movie started at 9 and there was a movie at 9 and 10. I'm like, well, I'll go to the 9 o'clock one. And I didn't buy my tickets online because when I looked, I was like, man, I'll just buy it when I get there because I had a printed off gift card that was just burning a hole in my pocket. So I needed to use it. So I go there. It was, I bought a ticket in the VIP. I didn't even know there was a VIP section at the movie theater. And I'm like, $25? What am I getting in here? But all it was, so the seats are the same as any of the new theaters now. Like they're massive, right? They're big, they recline. That's great. But it has like a little food holder in front of you and you can order food. I'm like, yeah, but what about, it's 9 o'clock at night. I don't really want to order food and it's Sunday night, but you can order like cocktails and everything. I've like, obviously I haven't been in the theater in a long time, but I'd never seen that before. So now I had to take advantage of it. So I ordered a cheesecake. So I had a cheesecake and that was pretty fantastic. So I have to say it was kind of worth it. But yeah, so the cheesecake, by the way, was great.
Did it have blankets? Some of them come with blankets, the upscale theaters.
No, dude, I'm not a blanket guy.
Well, I thought it might spin around.
No, like I'm sitting by myself. Like I could see if you had well, no, but even then I wouldn't. No, that's well, those blankets we get to use that you probably wouldn't want to share from anyone else in the theater.
Sir, I went to a theater like
Just
that
saying.
once in Texas, and it had a blanket.
Mm-hmm. So, but I highly recommend it. Honestly, it was like I got there and I knew I'm like, well, I don't need to sit there that long for the previews, right? So I knew anytime it says it starts at 9, it's not really starting until 9:10 now. So I strolled in at 9:08, sat down. Then they brought my cheesecake. It was quite the experience. So I highly recommend it, though. It was just kind of nice. No pressure to be like, oh, do you like? Oh, you got to share your food. No, it was awesome. Because sometimes anybody out there will know you and your spouse don't always like the same movies. So I was just like, hey, I really want to go to this movie. And she's like, yeah, I'm never going. I'm like, okay, perfect. I'll go by myself.
Yeah, I'm never going, she said.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Like,
not tonight, never, ever.
No, and that's good. Like, why? You don't need to lie at some point. Be like, okay, that's good. I don't need you to go. And then if there's ever a movie that she wants and I don't want to go, just be like, nah, I'm not interested. Ask one of your friends.
You've reached that phase of marriage where the ultra honesty is kicked in.
It's always better. It's always better. You don't have to waste your time. I don't have to waste mine. Perfect.
You think your wife would have gone to a date of Planet of the Apes when you first started dating? And now, no.
You gotta know what's it's like the guy who bought his wife swimming lessons for her anniversary, even though she didn't want to swim. But he's an outdoors guy. She's more of, as Jasmine said, a designer bag type of girl. That's still one of the greatest gifts. Oh, it's Connor's first anniversary. That's what we got on that topic today.
You did that, Connor?
No, it's his first anniversary today.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. Ashley can swim, so.
We had lots of texts. We'll get to more of them before the end of the show. Oh my God. There's some absolute unbelievable people out there on what they thought was a good gift, realized. But it's more so that people have given them too. It's like, I'm like, it's kind of a fail. Let's get to Connor Halley and Sports 1440 update. We'll come back. We got Speck and then Kevin Woodley. We're breaking down Jake Ottinger, Stuart Skinner more in depthly with the goaltending guru Woodley after a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Booster Juice. Visit Booster Juice today and try the Strawberry Serenity Teaser, or it's back by popular demand. Strawberry and cream booster ball only at Booster Juice.
The Sports 1440 update.
Game day, Oilers and Stars meeting at Rogers Place just after 6:30. Game 3 of the Western Conference Final. Currently tied at a game apiece. Adam Henrique draws into the lineup for the Oilers. Ryan McLeod comes out for the Dallas Stars. Rupe Hintz listed as a game-time decision. Elliot Friedman is reporting that Dan Bylsma is the choice in Seattle to be the Kraken's next head coach. He last coached in the NHL back in 2017 with Buffalo. He won a cup with the Penguins in 2009 and is currently the head coach of the Coachella Valley Firebirds, the Kraken AHL affiliate. In the association, Celtics looking to complete the sweep over the Pacers when they meet at 6 o'clock out in Indianapolis. Some sad news today. Bill Walton, Hall of Fame center and two-time NBA champion, passed away at the age of 71 after a battle with cancer. In the majors, the Toronto Blue Jays were victorious, dropping the White Sox 5-1. The Twins over the Royals 6-5, and the Orioles beat the Red Sox 11-3. Dodgers and Mets postponed due to weather in the New York area. Right now, Cubs and Brewers. Well, that one has wrapped up. The Brewers winning 5-1. You got the Giants leading the Dodgers 6-4. That's in the top of the 7th. Marlins and Padres scoreless. And at 7:40 tonight, the Mariners take on the Astros. At the Memorial Cup, the 0-1 Worcester Warriors taking on the 1-0 London Knights. That one gets going in about 30 minutes time. And at the French Open, good day for Canadians. Felix Auger-Aliassime, Denis Shapovalov, Bianca Andreescu, and Leila Annie Fernandez, all victorious. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we will be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet and Kevin Woodley of InGoal Magazine. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Christensen Communities, the name in active adult living. Enjoy retirement living without compromise. At Christensen, we understand that each lifestyle is unique. We are committed to providing choice through optional dining, personal services, recreation programs, and care plans to suit your current and future needs. Enjoy maintenance-free living and build new friendships in a safe, independent community. Large suites with full kitchens and in-suite laundry, on-site amenities, and so much more. Find out more today about our communities across the province at cdlhomes.com.
Heavy hauling in the worst of climates can be dreadful. Take the stress off the job with AccuSteel Heavy Haul Trailers. They redefine heavy hauling with premium heavy haul trailers designed, manufactured, and battle tested in the harshest of conditions. And if your heavy haul trailer has issues, their full service and frame inspections will tell you exactly what's wrong and why. They take the guessing out of repair work with quality engineered frame repairs that get you back working quick. Discover the difference at AccuSteel.ca.
Your love for strawberries is very passionate, you say. Just wait till you get your next taste of Booster Juice. The new strawberry blush smoothie made with strawberries, bananas, vanilla oat, and vanilla frozen yogurt will make you fall in love. And there's no tea like the Strawberry Serenity Teaser, a blend of strawberry juice, green tea, and honey. And for a tasty treat to pair perfectly with your berry obsession, the Strawberries and Cream Booster Ball has returned like your favorite dream. Visit a Booster Juice near you today or download the Booster Rewards app.
Move Water is your one-stop shop for all things water. From freshwater to wastewater, we've got the pumps and solutions to keep your water moving where it matters most.
Move Water, your water solution experts.
Visit movewater.ca today.
CW Eves Troughing is busy. That's why they're looking for experienced troughers to run one of their trucks. To get paid top rates, contact CW Eves Troughing at 780-435-1492 or email info@cweves.com.
My utility bills are
Ooh, the final countdown. It's a good beat to it. I still got to find that song, man. I'll get it, though. I'm going to find it next break. Oof. Trust me, if I play it, most of you are going to be like, oh, yeah, we used to have that one. It's like circa late 80s, early 90s. Sick. Sick warm-up song. Welcome back to the Gregor Show on Sports 1440. See what the Oilers have for warm-up. Warm-up will be important tonight if you're watching the Dallas Stars. Rupe Hintz is in the warm-up. He left the morning skate a little earlier, which is usually a little bit of a foreshadow to what will happen. I think there's a good chance he'll play tonight for the Dallas Stars. We know Adam Henrique is going to play for the Edmonton Oilers. Ryan McLeod comes out. It is the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Thanks as always for listening, getting set up. By the way, 640 Planet, 640 puck drop tonight. Oilers and the Dallas Stars. As we welcome in from Rogers Sportsnet, Mark Spector joins us. The Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction as they are getting set for a big weekend, big 50th celebration this weekend. I want to thank all of those who have supported them for the last 50 years and look forward to another great half century after this. It's GS Construction as we welcome in Spec. How you doing, Spec?
Oh, never been better, man. Home playoff game. Place is going to be packed. Weather's nice. Had a nice long walk in the river valley today. Cleared my mind. Feeling awesome.
Oh, geez. So yeah, you're mentally prepared for the game tonight. Chris Knobloch, he's shown he's not afraid to make a tough decision. We had Charlie Huddy on earlier, and he was a coach for a long time. He goes, man, I didn't really like benching guys when they made a mistake. It's just tough. But he goes, sometimes you had to do it, but usually you always kind of give them the benefit of the doubt. And I think that's what they tried to do here with Ryan McLeod. They just felt like, you know what, Adam Henrique's coming back in. Someone's got to sit down, and it's McLeod. But I don't think it's like McLeod might only be out one game, Spec. Like Derek Ryan and Warren Fogle could easily, be taking a seat beside McLeod when that third line has just not been able to do as much as you would like so far in the playoffs.
No, that is true. But I'm going to also say to you that the center of that third line is the guy that needs to drive that line and get it going maybe a little bit. So, if a line's not going, the first guy I generally look at is the centerman. That's one thing. I would say to you that Ryan McLeod has not scored a goal in 26 playoff games. It's not a small sample size. He's pointless this whole playoff run. That is no longer a small sample size. And forget about points. I hate the way I haven't liked the way he's played. He's way too many flybys. There's a shot he should have got in front of in the lane in Dallas. He didn't. He's not doing the things that win in playoff hockey. If I'm a coach and I got to pick a guy to come out, I don't think I can look at all the rest of my guys if I don't pick that guy as the one who comes out.
Yeah, that's fair. I'd written about, I might have considered putting Corey Perry back in too. And,
oh boy.
Maybe a Derek Ryan. What do you make of that?
I would absolutely want to get Corey Perry back in this thing. He can't stay out forever. Corey Perry has a body of work over about 15 years where he shows up in these games. And I've said this to you before. I haven't got off of this. If I could furnish him with the right line mates, I want him in. And frankly, McLeod coming out and Henrique coming in is a much better centerman for Corey Perry. So yeah, I'm here to tell you, I tweeted it this morning. If I was the head coach of this team, it would have been McLeod and Ryan out, and it would have been a third line of Fogle and Perry with Henrique in the middle.
So you look at the Dallas Stars and the orders in this series so far, and I think it's been pretty even. So what's your expectation as far as tonight and potentially matchups now that Edmonton's the home team?
Well, how can the Oilers get this thing going their way a little bit more? Right now they're on home ice, and now they need to push. For instance, we know the Oilers are playing well when they're drawing penalties. And that's a level of their game they haven't been able to get to. And people can complain about the refereeing, and you can play that game where you look for calls. There's always a call, right? that doesn't get made, like in every game. I think that it's up to the Edmonton Oilers to press and to possess the puck in the offensive zone to the point where they just draw no doubt penalties, and then they can play their advantage on special teams. They have a huge advantage here on special teams that they've not even touched yet. So for me, I'm not looking at the referees here. I'm looking at the Edmonton Oilers. They got to get in a position where penalties get called so they can get that lethal power play out against a penalty kill for Dallas that hasn't been great. You can win a hockey game with that mismatch, Jay. You know it.
Mark Spector, John Spec, I have to say the listeners are pretty witty today. They text in. That must have been a real short walk for Spec.
Never mind. Great shape.
No, because of clear your mind.
Oh, yeah, right. Hop out of the car, take a deep breath, hop back in.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm clear. Ready to roll. Now the order. I talked to Ryan Nugent Hopkins actually at depth today about that, and he goes, you know what, like, and I was watching because I watched the last game, Spec, and I don't think there was a penalty missed on either team. Honestly, like I thought both teams were very disciplined in how they play. Like there's very few scrums. Dallas's sticks, and Nugent Hopkins was telling me, goes, watch their sticks. They don't like in front of the net. When Vancouver, if you were within 2 feet, they're cross-checking you. And every now and then, if you cross-check, sometimes you know what, the ref's going to see it. You're going to get called because they really want to crack down on cross-check. And I know that's a memo that was sent to the league the start of the playoffs. They were going to crack down on cross-checking. Well, you look at Dallas's guys, they just rarely do it. Right. Yep. And so it's hard. What Nugent Hopkins said, he goes, you know what? We have to accept we're not going to get a lot of penalties. We don't take a lot of penalties either. But when we do get a power play, we got to be on it. And I think that was him kind of saying, hey, maybe he didn't love the urgency of their power play. Because some days you get 4 or 5, you're like, okay, you know what? Maybe you don't have to score in this one. But now you might only get 1 or 2, so you better be ready to go. His words, not mine.
No, that's so true. And the other thing that they got 2 power plays last game. One of them got cut off when Kane took a penalty. The game was 3-1. It was over. Yeah. And the other one was I think they got about 1:10, and then the intermission came. So, that's just bad luck, man. It's you get 2, they're both cut in half. Not great for the Oil. But no, I think Nuge makes a good point. Like you don't have any to waste here. Right? You don't have any to waste that I think Oilers fans are going to see tonight. I mean, y'all watched it on TV, so you probably saw it already, but there's no big cross-checking. There's no big hits. This series is about 40 or 30% as physical as the Vancouver series. And from that physicality came a ton of penalties, right? Yep. Maybe a retaliatory penalty. Maybe the first hit went a little sour on a guy and he got his elbow up. Maybe there was a cross-check that finally, like you point out, Jay, finally does get caught. None of that stuff's going on here. And I guess I'd ask this to you. Do you think that it's maybe in the Oilers' best interest to fire up a little bit of physicality and a little bit of vitriol in this thing? Maybe it would be a good idea for the Oilers to get that stuff going. What do you think?
Well, I do think it is, as long as because Dallas has a good power play. So as long as you can do it where it's not you taking all the penalties, right? So it is, and it's a fine line on how you do it. And so I think Edmonton, though, honestly, like Edmonton should be pretty happy with their 5-on-5 game. I thought Edmonton 5-on-5 wasn't in real trouble here. Like Dallas had some stretches, but Edmonton overall has been the team, I think, at 5-on-5 that's been better. So I think they just got to look and really, if they could just bear down on a few more of their chances, I think they'd be in an even better spot here.
Oh, I thought that Evander Kane had 2 chances last game that normally he puts away. And it's a difference in a hockey game, man. You work so hard in these games now to get a grade A chance and to have it fall on the stick of a guy who knows what to do with it, right? Like Kane knows what to do with a grade A chance. And, I'm not, this isn't me criticizing Evander Kane by any means. He's getting his chances. That's the old cliche. They're going to go in, blah, blah, blah. But that's the fine line. When your 30-goal man buries one of those, you win. When for whatever reason he's not quite able to, you lose by 1, and that's the margins these days, man.
Mark Spector joins us from Rogers Sportsnet. The Oilers have done a great job of limiting Dallas off the rush, and I know the Stars today were like they're happy about their lineup, how they're playing overall. I'm curious though, Spec, the matchup at home now. Dallas has been very good on the road. They went into Colorado, the toughest place to win in the regular season. They won there 3 times, right? For whatever reason, their numbers on the road are way better than at home. And I don't know if they simplify their game even more, but man, I think tonight, the first goal of the game for the Oilers on home ice against this Stars team is massively crucial. And I just think the first period, the Oilers dominated game 2 of the first period. After winning game 1, you thought Dallas would be the more desperate team. Edmonton's got to match that tonight, except this time, bury their chances.
Yeah, you can't put too much on the first goal, because if you don't get it, you got to figure that out. You have 50 minutes to play. But for sure, I think that the depth and the 4 lines and all that, sometimes I think the matchups at home get in a team's way. I think sometimes coaches overcoach in their own building because they can. And I think I'll tell you what, the Oilers are a better road playoff team too, right? Their record, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe their record's better on the road than at home. So Listen, these guys know each other. I'm like if I'm an Oilers fan, I'm pretty happy to be able to say that my team 5-on-5 might be the better team through 2 games, because that to me is where this series is going to get won. You can't sit around and say we're going to win this thing on our power play. You can't say that. It would help, but you got to be able to win 5-on-5, and so far the Oilers have. So they can handle everything Dallas is throwing at them. It's to me, one of the biggest things here is so far Stu Skinner's been just as good as Ottinger. If that keeps up, that's another check mark on the Oilers side, because I think when this series started, most people thought that would be advantage Dallas, and it hasn't yet.
No, Skinner's been excellent, I think, in this series, and really just common pose. And we're going to have Kevin Woodley on, and I know he breaks down if he'll see anything. I don't think there's much to see. Like the one thing for Skinner, and he's been very not aggressive because that's not his style, but very confident. Like there's been a few times the Sagan in game 1 on the power play, Skinner came right out to the top of the blue paint, even a little bit farther, which he normally doesn't do, and he swallowed it up. And like he's never really looked out of control. And I look at Ottinger, and the one thing that Kevin talked about with Ottinger that the Oilers maybe haven't done yet is, you try to get a little bit of traffic, because Dallas, if you watch how they defend spec, like they don't make you pay the price in front of the net. You just got to get there first.
Yeah, and that there again, if we think that becomes a way to beat this team, it's another reason to bring Corey Perry back in your lineup. And you're right. It's not like standing in front of that net against Vancouver was a very punishing experience. I'm not sure it would be the same way with Dallas. So, maybe that translates to a power play that doesn't perhaps pass it around the outside as much. Maybe your defenseman even strength. Like obviously you got Bouchard. Why isn't he shooting it more? We've seen CC blast a couple home from the point, right? Nurse can shoot it. Maybe that becomes a bit of a way to beat this team as you get to that net, because it's guys like Heiskanen is highly skilled, but he's not that physical, and he's going to play 28 minutes tonight. So, maybe you're onto something there.
Spec, we'll see you at the rink. Have a good one.
All right, thanks, Jake.
There you go. That's Mark Spector in the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction. When we come back, Kevin Woodley. He's been looking at it. We'll find out what he's uncovered through 2 games. Oilers and Stars, different way to approach. We saw the game-winning goal with Ottinger in his post play that allowed him not to be able to get back across on the McDavid deflection. But other than that, is there a different way the Oilers should be attacking? We'll find out next on the Jason Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Price excludes delivery. Until June 8th, make the shift to more savings at Fountain Tire and get up to $200 off a set of 4 select tires, plus a bonus $50 off any service of $150 or more. Restrictions apply. Financing available. Book online today. I can tell by the look on your face you're thinking about it.
Whether you're gearing up for a corporate golf tournament or just taking a client out for a round, get your branded shirts, jackets, golf caps, and prizing at Elite Promotional Marketing. Before you tee off, make sure you head to elitepromomarketing.com.
Human being. But that song in its heyday, unreal. When he cranks it up and it's almost like the Ferris wheel sound. Oh, should have cranked it. We should have kept it going a little bit longer. But yes, Gary Glitter, we all know, Terrible Human. The song was good. So what he did elsewhere, loser. But that was a good song.
You ever listen to Jock Jams back in the day, Gregor?
Well, of course.
That was an album. Talk about your pump-up songs. Jock Jams.
Oh, dude, I'm all over that stuff. Loved it. So you won't get a complaint from me on that. Like it a lot. Now, let's get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by Silent Rides Charter Company, one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies with state-of-the-art motor coaches that safely take your team or group to the next destination. Go to silentrides.ca and book your ride today. It's Kevin Woodley from In Goal Magazine, NHL.com. Joined us. All right, Woodley, you've had 2 games. If you look at the what we've seen, there's not a lot of goals. Both goalies have played well. The overtime goal was pretty much what you talked about for Ottinger when he on the post play and he couldn't get across to make the save. Have you seen anything else from an Edmonton perspective that they should be exploiting through 2 games and look for maybe something to attack on Ottinger tonight?
Well, no, I mean, I got to give him credit, to be honest with you. I thought there was a really nice adjustment by Jake Ottinger early in this series. When I did pre-cut work and did all the video, Jason, his tendency to overplay the posts wide was something, that overlap position that I talked about with you guys last week. That was something that I thought they would be able to go to school on, and to credit, he has not overused it at all. He is playing inside his post in a controlled manner. And so when Connor's, working off that left side on the power play, and sort of coming, even though it's an in zone play, he's coming downhill at the goaltender. That's a play that I thought Jake would overplay on the short side. He's not. He's playing inside the bars and using that 6'6" frame really effectively. So, the one thing about that is if he's going to stay that deep and sort of play it straight up, to be honest with you, I love the way he's playing it. But that's where if you've got that skill, if you're Connor and he's going to sit on the goal line, that's where you've got, you have the ability, you have the ability to go short side high. That's sort of all you've got left there. There is a tendency from Jake when he's playing reverse into the post like that and we've seen it a couple times in this series, when he anticipates shot, he will actually lean and almost lift his head like he's worried about that short side high shot. Okay. And you'll see the shoulder pop up and the head pop up. And, guys like McDavid who can have their head up on plays like that, as soon as you see that, you've got far side low. He's leaning into that post. He's not able to react to a puck, and there's options there on the other side. But to be honest with you, he's playing everything so nice and straight up that, it's kind of hard for me to criticize and say, hey, go after him this way, because I think he's playing everything really, really well right now.
Now, what about Skinner? Same thing. He hasn't looked like he's been in a lot of trouble either.
No, I've liked Stewart's game right now. It just, we talked about can you be more aggressive and things like that. And I just think that you sort of have to be who you are. Like, you're not going to change what you do at this point in the Stanley Cup playoffs. And I think Stewart's just kind of gone back right to his game. There are moments where he will come up above the crease and challenge, but he's not overdoing it. So I just like everything about his game right now. It looks like it's in a really good place.
Kevin Woodley joins us from Goal Magazine, NHL.com. Quick, so if you look, though, at Ottinger and Edmonton, you've talked about the power play attack. There hasn't been a lot of, like, Dallas has been doing a really good job of blocking shots, right? Like the Heiskanen one, especially in that third period against Edmonton. Edmonton, I know it's not in their DNA, but I still think they could get more traffic in front. How is Ottinger when he has excessive traffic?
Jake, for the most part, handles traffic well statistically. It's not sort of, there's no sort of weakness signal there in terms of his numbers against screens and traffic. Where you can get him is with layers of screen and forcing him to get into a low wide stance and then filter pucks high. But I think for the most part, he does a really good job of sort of looking over shoulders. He's 6'6".
Yeah.
There's no need for him to get locked in low and wide. But if you've got a guy like Bouchard and you can find there's a difference between a point shot and something in from the top of the circles. You can filter your way a little lower in the zone in towards the top of the circles, Jason. It forces him into more of a safe stance. And once you're in that safe stance and you're playing things a little lower and wider, that's where those opportunities are going to be there. If you can sort of take away the eyes, get him to commit into that secondary stance a little lower, that's where you can start to sort of filter pucks through higher up on him and take advantage of him getting low and wide despite being 6'6".
Kevin Woodley from In Goal Magazine and NHL.com joins us over in the East. Kev, you've got two goalies who are playing unreal now. Yesterday there was 9 goals, but Shesterkin was still just fantastic down the stretch. It was backhands or us early on. The first 5 goals, all backhands. What did you make of Reinhardt's goals coming out of that side? Is that something you think that was in a game plan to look for, or does that just happen to be kind of coincidence that both of them came out of the exact same corner?
Well, I mean, when they're coming out of certain areas on the ice, to me, that's more, are you seeing something in the system in the defensive coverage? Like, I remember the year that St. Louis won the Cup, one thing they were getting killed on was low-high pop passes, just like from below the goal line to the middle of the net. And so on the scoring chart, when I did, Jordan Binnington's sort of pre-scout throughout the playoffs, it's like, okay, he's susceptible to these. But the reality was it was more a lapse in the defensive coverage. And so if you're getting into those areas, I wonder if they've seen something in terms of the way the coverage is for New York that exposes that. And in terms of backhand, what do you do when you got a goalie who's playing exceptionally well? Give him something that's really hard to read. And every goalie will tell you it is really hard to read a backhand, right? Like, we know about slap shots, we know about wrist shots. The amount of information, and I've had these sit downs, done video with goalies where they walk us through it at In Goal Magazine, and it's like the hips, the hands, the blade, all these pieces of information that goes into a goalie knowing where that shot is headed before it leaves the blade. It all sort of goes out the window when it's on a backhand. Like, it's just so much tougher for NHL goalies to read. And so, I don't know that you can necessarily game plan it. Like, hey, let's get on our backhand and start shelping pucks. But anytime you have the opportunity, especially when guys are picking spots the way they are, there were some absolutely gorgeous goals in that game. And, I know we end up with 9 total and everybody's going, oh, what happened to the goaltending? But I'm with you. I think when you get scoring chances like that and guys finishing like that, pucks are going to go in regardless of who's in net.
Yeah. Going back to Bobrovsky and, like his numbers, you look at the Rangers, because they didn't get a lot of shot volume. They've had lots of deflections and they've had lots of backhands in that series. And, you even look at the game. What did you think of the game winner from Gaudreau in game 2? Is that a great shot or is that a savable goal?
Yeah. That's what I thought about reaching out to a couple people and asking what they think. And I didn't have the opportunity because I was right in between on that one. It's the top of the circle. It's from out. Now, he has crossed the middle of the ice, but that isn't a slot line play because it's above the circle.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure that goes down as a low to mid percentage shot. Okay. Now, is it a great shot to the top corner of the net? Absolutely. And again, this isn't picking on Bob, but when we see, that shot from the slot, you tip your cap to the shooter, right?
Okay.
But from that distance, I feel like you should have a chance on those. So it's not necessarily a should have, but it's certainly a could have for the goaltender, and probably one you'd like. If we look back at his profile statistically over the years, the upper parts of the net that him where the sort of question marks lie is from distance. I don't know that he tracks pucks exceptionally well from further out in the zone on those. He gets into that low wide stance. And as much as he has so much control over his edges, he should be able to push up into that shot. The reality is he just doesn't very often. And so that's one that, whether you come out on the side of bad goal or tip your cap, at the end of the day, that's one that's been available on him for a number of years now. And if you're the Rangers, you're looking to, I would argue probably looking for that based on a pre-scout. I don't know that you're shooting from that range, unless something has told you, hey, these are more likely to go in against from that spot, even if you hit, that spot in the net.
Yeah. I want to go back to the Edmonton series against Ottinger and Skinner, because that's the one that most of the listeners are interested in. And so they both played very well. And both of the Florida and New York goalies have played well. And then all of a sudden there was some offense, and some of the goals are just nice. Where do you come out on the Oilers shooters? Because I think they've had some really good looks. Like Evander Kane should have scored last game. Like he pushed that into the goalie where all he has to do is just flip it over like to the wide open left side of the net, right? Where do you stand on the finish of both teams in this series? I guess Edmonton specifically, I think, has left some goals on the table that they should have put in.
Yeah, I think that's a fair argument. And we talked once, I guess, sort of setting up this series after Game 7. But just to take you back to Game 7, we talked about what becomes the game winner that gets them to the Western Conference Final from Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, right? Like, to me, that's a perfect example of a scorer with great finish, because that puck comes off the end wall. It's on Nugent's stick, and there is nobody in the net. Nobody in the net when he gets that puck, when he's looking at the net. 80% of guys are throwing that, even skilled players, maybe even higher, maybe even 90, Jason. They're throwing it right into the middle of an empty net when they see that wide open net. He picked the corner. And if he didn't pick a corner, he probably doesn't score because Arturas Silovs gets the cross. And I talked to Nuge about that after, sort of away from the scrum after Game 7, and he sort of tipped his hat to how good Silovs had been, and he knew that he had to pick a corner in that spot. I think you need more guys to be looking to pick the corners in this series as well. Ottinger is 6'6". If you're going to put it in the middle of the net, even on plays where you go east-west on him, you're giving him a chance to make a save just courtesy of positioning and size. So This is not a goalie you're going to score a lot of pucks, score a lot of goals by putting pucks into the middle of the net. So you're going to have to be a little fine. And it's a fine line. One of the things I don't think Skinner got enough credit for, and at the end of that Vancouver series, was how often the Canucks were missing net on pretty good looks, in part because they kept looking at a big frame that was set and in position and square early in a sequence. Like, just by beating plays and being in the right position, I think Stewart forces a lot of misses wide because he takes up so much of the net. And certainly Ottinger is the same type of goalie. To me, the difference is I would have put more pucks off Stu and made him sort of play second chances and broken plays and tried to create chaos and scrambles. Jake is pretty good with the rebound control. If you put it up above the pads.
Okay.
And so if you're putting it into his body up above, he's probably going to keep it closer. He's probably going to control it, or probably going to smother it. Like, it's going to take a hell of an offensive play, especially with what I talked about in the first question. He is playing between his posts right now better than I think he has for large chunks of the season, and better than he did early in the playoffs. And that means you're not going to beat him in the middle of the net very often. It's going to take a hell of a play to have him out of position, because he's not taking himself out of position as much as he might have been early this year. And like I said, at times early in the playoffs, which means you need to pick spots. If you are going to look for chaos and try and create second chance opportunities, that's where you want it off the pads. And that's where you got to keep in mind that those Bauer pads, hard shots off those pads are going to rocket out past the top of the crease, and you end up out towards the hash marks or the face-off dot, just because they're those Bauer pads that are designed to produce active rebounds.
So that was my last question then. What do you feel the Oilers need to do? If Ottinger's playing this well, where are the, do we need more east? Do they need more east-west plays? What do they need to do to capitalize on a goalie who's playing this well?
Well, it's funny because he's taken away the plays I thought would be there in terms of low-high plays and overplaying short side. But I still think, and you saw that goal as an example, you ring a puck around the boards, you force a play behind his net around from one side to the other, and he parks himself in a reverse and doesn't give himself a chance to come across. So I still do think making him go side to side from behind the net will give you opportunities. The one thing I look at off the rush, and this is something that, that Stu's done too, and it cost him on the Benn goal, that tendency to flatten out against rush chances. Not that Dallas gives up much of them, but for both goalies in this series, their tendency to sort of come back and flatten out along the goal line. And if you're coming down the wing, that exposes far side just over the pass. And I think that's there on Jake as well as it has been on Stu, and that Benn goal is a great example. So if your skill players can get those looks and start to hit those spots, like Nugent Hopkins did, he did top shelf against Shelovs in that game 7, there will be opportunities there.
Kev, great stuff, man. We really appreciate it. Enjoy the remainder of the conference finals.
I will, Jason. Thanks, and thanks for putting up with a little bit of golf in the background here with the Canucks alumni tournament today. So I appreciate you guys letting me do this over the phone today.
Hey, no problem, buddy. Enjoy it. Keep it on the fairway.
Thanks, bud.
There you go. That's Kevin Woodley from Ingo Magazine and NHL.com. We'll come back. We'll get to the lineup. We'll get to Wanye's World and more on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, live in the EWEL studio, EWEL.ca. We are an hour from puck drop. It'll be 6:40 tonight.
What's cracking at Cattail Crossing? The Mixed and Mingle League. Join Cattail Crossing Golf and Winter Club every Thursday as they pair up males and females for a fun and social round of golf. Only $33.30 all season long. Details at cattailcrossing.ca.
This spring, experience innovation on the road at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Right now, lease from 0.99% or save up to $4,000 on select models for qualifying loyal Volvo Cars Edmonton customers. Plus, save $5,000 on all new and demo 2024 XT60 Recharge plug-in hybrid models. Discover why we're Canada's only 13-time Volvo Excellence Award winner. Chat online at volvocarsedmonton.com or visit 1205 101st Street Southwest.
Join Kidsport Edmonton's Bids for Kids, presented by GS Construction, June 19th, 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. at the Bell in Scona. Celebrate 29 years of Kidsport with 90s attire and courage. Tickets are $75, including entry into a mountain getaway draw. Enjoy a night of sports talk, appetizers and bevies, silent auction, 50/50, and a beer tree raffle. All funds raised support local Kidsport Kids registration fees. Visit kidsportbidsforkids.com for tickets. Event is 18+.
Your business is unique. It has its own challenges and its own risks. Does your commercial insurance reflect that? At High Street Insurance, we believe in a personalized approach. As an independent broker, we take the time to create a partnership with you. We get to know your business and ensure that your insurance coverage is specifically designed to protect what matters to you. Insurance that's dependable, transparent, and tailored to suit your unique needs. Good protection starts with understanding you. Reach out to us today at highstreetinsurance.com.
This spring, the savings continue at The Brick. Take up to 40% off furniture and mattresses, as well as the chance to scratch and save up to an additional 40% off your purchase. Plus, you'll have the chance to win great prizes, including a $10,000 Brick shopping spree. Find amazing deals on kitchen appliances and save up to $400 on sofas, so you can prepare your ultimate game day snack and then watch the game in style. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Hey everyone, it's Brent Fullerton from Carefree RV. In recent years, we've seen a huge shift towards first-time buyers in our showroom. This has left us with a major shortage of trade-ins and used product on our lot. We are currently in need of quality used RVs. If you would like to sell or consign your RV, please call or text us at 780-438-2008 or visit us at carefreerv.ca.
Uber Eats is now in your area. We've got it all, from your favorite restaurant dishes to groceries and essentials. And get $0 delivery fee on all your orders. What are you waiting for? Try Uber Eats now. Taxes and fees still apply. See app for details.
5:46. Welcome back. Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube and Facebook. And Oilers taking on the Dallas Stars. We do know Henrique is in for sure, and we'll get to the lineup report now, brought to you by Sherwood Power Sports and Marine, where, hey, guess what? If you are looking right now, because we're getting into the fun season, boating, ATVs, you need anything, you need a tune-up, your little TLC for your trailer, all makes, all models, they will fix it right now at Sherwood Power Sports and Marine. The Oilers lineup, we know for sure. Skinner's going to start on goal. You have CC and Kulak, Nurse with Desharnais, and Ekholm and Bouchard. Up front, the fourth line has played quite well. They'll stay together. It looks like it'll be well, I shouldn't say that. We don't know that for sure. But because remember, Brown and Ryan switched last game. So could we see Ryan with Carrick and Janmark? Maybe. And then Henrique with Fogle and Brown. So Brown and Ryan might switch. Draisaitl, Kane, Holloway, McDavid, Hyman, Nugent, Hopkins. To me, the Oilers are a much better team when McDavid and Draisaitl start the game on their own lines. And they should do that. The Dallas Stars, meanwhile, we could have some change to their roster. We do know Jake Ottinger's in goal. That's a fact. We do know on the back end, they're going to go with the same six defense. You'll have Harley and Heiskanen, Lindell and Tanev, Petrovic and Suter. Now, obviously, they don't necessarily play those three pairs all the time because Heiskanen is double shifting in a lot of situations. Up front, Rupe Hintz left the morning skate with everybody else, which is normally a sign he's going to play. If he comes in, I think you're going to see him then play with Duchesne and Marchment. You'll have Sagan move to the wing and so then Sagan's on the wing, and you could have him, Robertson, Dadonov would move down. I think Dellandrea would come out. And then what are they going to do with Joe Pavelski? Right, that's going to be the question mark for the Dallas Stars, according to Owen Newark, because he was playing with Duchesne and Marchment. So did they just put Pavelski with Sagan and Robertson? They could. And leave Ben with Johnson and Stankoven? Very possible. Or do they put Pavelski down because he showed a little bit of age and keep Dadonov with Sagan and Robertson? So some interesting line combinations that will happen if Rupe Hintz plays. Now, if he's out, they'll run with Sagan, Dadonov, and Robertson, Duchesne, Pavelski, Marchment, Johnson, Stankoven, and Ben, and then Steele, Craig Smith, and Ty Dellandrea. So there you go. A little bit of line matching potentially for the Oilers and the Stars based on the health of Rupe Hintz. No Corey Perry yet, but if I'm Chris Nombuck, I wouldn't wait much longer. I would consider re-injecting him into the lineup, depending on how things go. Now, let's get to Wanye's World, brought to you by Action Electrical. They got solar and other green energy projects have a business income tax incentive. You can get that. And also, you can get a $40K 10-year interest-free loan right now for the government of Canada. actionelectrical.net. Here's one.
Gregor, what do you think is a reasonable expectation for these next two games? Because when you're watching people online and you're watching kind of the mood on X, it's hard to bounce back from a loss. It's hard to bounce back for some in the regular season, and some people coming back with a tie on the road, you'd think that they'd lost both games. What would you project to be a reasonable expectation for these next two games?
Well, obviously you want to split. That'd be reasonable. All right. I thought it was going to be a long series. Now, the Oilers, to me, hey, Dallas bounced back after losing game one. And you know what? In the playoffs, if you can't rebound after one loss, you're done. Now, the fans might lose their mind, but some of them. But I think the players aren't. The Oilers players aren't panicking after losing game two, nor should they be. I think Edmonton probably pretty happy with how they played. If anything, they're probably disappointed that they didn't get a lead out of game two, especially after the first period. Now, they might not have held on to it, but that first period, there's no way that should be in a 1-1 score. Right. So that to me is if the Oilers have another dominant period, you have to find a way, I don't know how, to guarantee that you're ahead. But just because in the playoffs, you know what? You have those situations where you had an opportunity not to put them away, but you go up 2-1. Well, guess what? Now it's a 2-2 game when Marchment scores. Now you're going overtime again. Right? You're not pulling your goalie on the worst goalie pull I've seen in a long time. So to me, reasonable expectations. The Oilers just have to compete. The Oilers should be very confident in how they're playing right now. I've actually think overall, I would say Edmonton's been the better team 5-on-5 for the majority of minutes. So, I don't think the players really care or worry, but some people just like to worry. So I wouldn't worry about them.
You got to worry in the conference finals. We haven't been this close since 2006.
Oh God, no, the Oilers are good now, but here's the thing. if the Oilers don't win, there'll be some disappointment, and that's valid, right? None higher, though, than the players in the room. The Oilers players, to a man, believe they can win the cup, right? And, like, not only believe it, like, they firmly believe that they should win the cup. They think they're that good. And, you know, that's why I said at the start of the series, I was surprised at how many people were just blowing this off as, oh, Edmonton's not going to be able to compete with Dallas. I'm like, what? Why? They got better top-end talent than the Stars. You can say the Stars have more depth. And right now, the third line of the Oilers is making it look pretty easy. But if the third line gets going, then they got a real good chance here. So I'm more fascinated by the matchup game tonight for Knobloch. And not the majority of the time, because he's just going to play McDavid, and Draisaitl doesn't really care who they're out against. But I know Dallas wants Heiskanen out against McDavid. So how often will he see, Heiskanen's just out. Now we're going to go back. Will we double shift McDavid a few times? And we know he can handle it. So that'll be something to watch for tonight. On behalf of Wanye Gretz, I'm Connor Halley. We got Turn Sports coming up. Remember, puck drop is 6:40 tonight. The Oilers and the Stars in Game 3. Have yourselves a wonderful night. Enjoy the action. We'll break it all down tomorrow. See how your heart rate gets up. Pace yourself. Pace yourselves. And whatever you do, please don't drink and dive. Don't be inebriated. I've seen a big uptick in from the Edmonton City Police. So be smart about it. Uber it, walk, whatever you do. Just don't drink and be inebriated, or with the hippie whiskey. Don't do it. Here's Conman, Sports 1440. Update brought to you by your Alberta GMC dealers right now. Get $5,300 cash purchase credit on a 2024 Sierra Denali Ultimate. Plus, eligible Costco members can receive $1,200 in bonus cash on select trucks right now at your Alberta GMC dealers. Good night.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Game day, Oilers Stars. Game 3 of the Western Conference Final goes at about 6:40 tonight down at Rogers Place. Series side of the game each for pregame coverage. Keep it locked on the Oilers Nation YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter streams for pregame and forward seat underway right now. Off the ice, Elliot Friedman reporting that Dan Bylsma is the choice for the Seattle Kraken to be their next head coach. He last coached in the NHL in 2017 in Buffalo, won a Stanley Cup with the Penguins in 2009, and is currently the head coach of the Coachella Valley Firebirds, the Kraken's AHL affiliate. In the association, we're about 5 minutes away from tip-off. Pacers and Celtics meeting in Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Final. Boston leads that series 4-0. Sad news from the NBA world as Bill Walton, Hall of Fame center and two-time NBA champion, passed away at the age of 71 after a battle with cancer. Major League Baseball today, the White Sox falling at home to the Blue Jays 5-1. Brewers beat the Cubs by that same score. Rockies over the Guardians 8-6. The Cards lose to the Reds 3-1. Nationals double up the Braves 8-4, and the Giants beat the Phillies by that same score. Dodgers Mets postponed due to weather in the New York area. Just one game going on right now. Padres and Marlins tied at 1 apiece midway through the 5th. Later tonight, you got the Astros in Seattle to take on the Mariners. First pitch set, first 7:40. And at the Memorial Cup, Moose Jaw leads London 1-0 with about 13 minutes left in the first period. Denton Matejchuk with the lone goal in that one. And from the tennis world, the French Open, good day for Canada. Felix Auger-Aliassime, Denis Shapovalov, Bianca Andreescu, and Leila Annie Fernandez, all victorious. That'll do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Up next, it is Turn Sports. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 Update.